Good morning, I'm John Cole Morgan and welcome to Sewing Street. We've got the most fantastic couple of hours. We've got Jemma here from Pattern Preacher, really excited about that. But before we start with that, now, many of you know before I started doing all my quilting, I was an accountant. This early bird, I cannot express how excited I am about this early bird today. Now what this is, now we get all these little combination packs every now and then, but this one is absolutely exceptional. Now you'll notice one of our pins, one of our needles in here is missing. We've already used them because we had a little bit of a mishap with one of our machines today. So you're getting, we're getting 10 different universal needles. So you're getting 4 70-10s, 4 80-12s, and 2 90-14s. So the 70-10s will be piecing your slightly thinner fabrics, your 80-20s will be your slightly thicker fabrics, and your 90-14s are perfect for doing any form of quilting. That's what I use for my quilting. And they're just fabulous. And you can see you're getting 4 of them in there. Notice one's missing because we're using it already. Now, what I love about this is when you buy one of these sets of needles, they're about £5-6. We've got them on Amazon today. We can do a little price comparison in a little while. But we've also got these absolutely divine prim pearl-headed pins. They are incredible. Now, I absolutely love these. These are 0.58 mils. There are 40 pins in there. So not only are you getting the pins, not only are you getting the needles, you're also getting 12 100-meter Gutermann threads. So these are all 100% polyester, but just look at the colors. I absolutely adore these. Of course, my OCD brain wants to make sure that my little rainbow stays in place. But you've got these great, gorgeous colors that you'll be able to use with any form of colors that you're doing. And of course, the quilting, the quality with regards to Gutermann is exceptional. A lot of people only use 100% cotton, and a lot of people only use 100% polyester. I personally prefer 100% polyester. Now, with these as well, I don't know if everybody knows this because I only found this out about a year ago. If you do hand piecing, what there is on the bottom of all of your spools, if you just gently tease this bottom bit out, and it is just gently, and it's kept in there nice and securely. And if you don't take this little paper bit off there, you store all your needles in there. So you can put all your needles in there nice and safely, pop the lid on, and it's all done. And with the great thing with polyester, it's a lot stronger than cotton. So when you give it a good old tug, it's not going to give way. Because it's being man-made, it's a little bit stronger than what you'd have for cotton. Again, the Gutermann's got that really lovely, it doesn't fluff up your machine very much either. And you've got all these beautiful colours. Now, the reason I mentioned to you about being an accountant is I did a little bit of maths on this project this morning. I love doing a bit of maths this early in the day. So we're going to show you a couple of price comparisons now. So we've got the Schmetz 10 universal needles. Now, we looked at Amazon. Amazon's one of the biggest providers of everything in the entire universe. They've got this down at £5.80 for a box of 10 of these. You can see that there, £5.80 for the box of the Schmetz needles. These are identical to the ones that we've got here. So even if you're considering this to be a free gift, what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to show you how much you're actually paying for the cotton because you're getting this in there. So if you bought this at the cheapest place you could possibly buy, that's £5.80. Then if you look at these beautiful prim pearl-headed pins, these on Amazon as well are £3.07. £3.07 just for this tiny little box. Now we do encourage people to look elsewhere for different products and things, but look at that. So these two together, just these two together, are £8.87. Just these two. And when you look at the price of our early bird, it's £17.99 all in. Now, of course, my little accountant brain took off how much you would pay for these and worked out you're paying 76p for a spool of thread. 100 meters of Gutermann thread for 76p. There is nowhere else that I have ever seen. I think that's less than what you pay for it wholesale. And it's just such a great deal with these. And of course, having these as a lovely little bundle, if you just look at them and buying the threads, you're paying £1.49 and effectively getting a nice little free gift of a beautiful box of pins. And you're getting those needles then, and you're only paying £1.49 for the whole, for each of these spools, and that's what giving you the £17.99. But then you're getting these two for free. But if you actually then went and bought these and worked out how much these would cost individually, it comes down to 76p for a spool of thread. Now tell me that's not such an amazing, amazing early bird today. And we've already started using the needles. Got to be done. We can't give these ones back now. I'm so excited. Now a lot of these have already gone already. And a lot of people have already spent these, bought this morning. Now, when you do get these done, when you do purchase these now, you've obviously paid your postage and packaging all day, $3.95. That's now paid. You've started your ordering for the day, and you're going to be so pleased you did, because Gemma's got some of the most fantastic dress patterns I've seen in a very long while. They look amazing. But I want to give you, I always tell you a little bit of a few little things that are coming up. Now, first of all, Nicholas Ball. I'm going to chat to you about that at about 9 o'clock. One of the most phenomenal designers of quilting ever. His book is exceptional. But we've also got the Creative Grids ruler. Now, I'm not going to tell you very much about this now. Go and have a look at it. It is the most beautiful little ruler. Perfect for foundation paper piecing. Perfect for any form of small work that you want to do. If you do miniature quilts or you're just doing smaller blocks, this is fantastic. Even if you're just looking for a nice little gift. Christmas is coming. We've got Christmas on tomorrow again. Even if you're just looking for a nice, good gift for others or for yourself, this is available. So have a check on the website for that. That's coming up later on. We've also got our fabulous PU, our glitter PU. That's back as well. So have a look on the website as well. But while you're looking on the website, we've got, back by popular demand, I'm not going to say anything because I'm not allowed to do this. We've got fabric back. It's back after long and long and long trying to get it back. We've also got this brand new and the most affordable fabric we've had on the show today. These are both back in stock. So have a look on the website. We'll be coming back to that in a little while. Oh, we've had a message in already for this morning from Janice. Morning, Janice. And Glynis and Maxine. Of course, we're now live on Facebook as well. Audrey's also dropped us a line. Lovely to hear from you, ladies. Thank you so much for getting in touch. Because we're now live on Facebook as well, you can then comment on there. Nice way for everybody to get involved. But if you want to message us and have a question, we've got the wonderful Jemma in now. If you've got any questions about the patterns or something she's doing you're not quite sure of, drop us an email. Easiest way of doing that is studio@sewingstreet.com. Failing that, you can get us on Facebook. Our Facebook page is Sewing Street TV, and there's a message option on there as well, so you can drop us a line. It'd be lovely to hear from you, and if you've got any, even just tell us what you're up to today. We love hearing from you, so drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. A quarter. Now, all of our lovely savvy shoppers, I know full well you like a good deal when you get one. A quarter of the stock has gone already. Not surprised, it's such a great deal. So if you haven't already looked at this, make sure you do. We don't want you to miss out. Quarter of the stock is gone, and it's not even quarter past the hour. Really, really pleased with that. Lovely, lovely deal. But now we have got the most fantastic set of patterns now with Jemma. We've got two patterns, which we're doing the Isabella dress. Oh, isn't it gorgeous? Brand new to us today. And doesn't this lady look a bit like Jenny from the jewelry maker's demonstration? Somebody said she looked like Holly Willoughby. It really does. Beautiful dress, this one. And this is the dress we got. Really good for beginners. But this is the dress that we're actually looking at today. It is so beautiful. It's just so fresh. Love that. So we've got the lovely Jemma Pratt coming to show us that in a few minutes. So we've got Jemma coming up to show us that now. Sorry? Oh, yes, so the sizing on these. So we're going here from size 6 up to a size 20. And with that, you're going to need at least 2.5 meters of fabric. We always advise you just get that, well, I always advise everybody, get that little bit extra, round it up to 3 meters, and that way then you've always got a little bit to play with in case you make a bit of a mistake on it. But also, sorry? Oh, yes, so there's on the screen a few moments ago, we had all the slide then with all the different measurements as well, because obviously size 6 and all that, we want to make sure you get the right one. So when you're looking on the website as well, if you type in Isabella, you'll be able to then search for this. You'll have all of these details on the slides to be able to make that, be able to then see whether the sizes are perfect for you as well. So I love the website that you can actually go through to that detail to do that. So now the fabrics we've got today are really, really special. Now all of these are by the 1/2 meter and they are just beautiful. Look at this one. Isn't that just stunning? Love that. Now you will need 2.5 meters of this. just make sure you're on the safe side. Make sure you try and get 3. We don't want you to, you know, with this fabric, you can potentially not have enough. Rather get more than less, because if you run out, it's always that problem when you've got to try and match it up and all that. So that one is available by the ½ meter today. You need 2.5 meters at least to make the dress. So these are 98% viscose and 2% spandex as well. So that'll give you a nice idea of the feel of the fabric as well. So we've got this one as well, also very, very pretty fabric, available by the ½ meter too. Now these are quite wide fabrics as well. Are they 145? I think they're 145. It's 145 wide, so but for a ½ meter of that is £7.99. Sorry, I misspoke then, £7.99. But it's so lovely. The design is so pretty. Especially with a dress like this, you can do a statement piece of fabric which would just pop and look so lovely. But if you prefer to do a slightly more muted colorway, we've got this gorgeous navy, and I've now lost the label on it. That'll be causing a problem later. Stick him on. This is beautiful. It's got such a gorgeous feel to it as well. Lovely, lightweight. This is the Oxford Navy viscose fabric here. £7.99 again, and look at that rich navy there. Such a beautiful color. Really lovely. But if you don't like the navy, don't worry. We've got others for you. We've got this gorgeous pink as well. This is really pretty. It's a beautiful sort of dusty salmon pink as well. Really lovely. Again, feels beautiful. This is also quite a good one for an occasion. If you've got an event coming up, or you're going somewhere, or just want to feel really special wearing something very pretty. Nice, nice fabric there. You know, many people are going off to see family. One of my friends is off to Scotland to go and have her son's wedding. She's so excited to be able to go and do that. But this one is just adorable. Look at these gorgeous little bunnies. So sweet. So this is again available by the ½ meter, £7.99. The Mopsy Fun Deep Ocean viscose fabric there. Isn't it just adorable? I love these little bunnies. They're so sweet. So we've got some gorgeous fabric with this there, really beautiful. Now with this pattern, you will need some lightweight interfacing. Don't worry, we got you covered as well. We've got this wonderful interfacing here by Violene. I'm trying to get, there we go. You can see. Now the lightweight one, I haven't seen this one in before. This is 90 centimeters by 50 centimeters. This is really, really, really helpful for this dressmaking that you'll be doing today, and that's £2.99 for that. Such a great price. That's wonderful. So we've got absolutely everything that you need in order to do this today, including this fabulous, fabulous pair of dressmaking shears. Really love these little dressmaking shears. These are 27 centimeters, and they've got that gorgeous sound as you're cutting through the fabric there, that wonderful tailor's scissors sound with it. £16.99 for that. And then don't forget as well, we're going to be having Jemma help us make the Isabella dress today. And this wonderful pattern is available as well. If you didn't want to get fabric, you can just get the pattern. Isn't that the most gorgeous dress? Well, this dress now, Hannah's just said in my ear, where would I wear it to? I wouldn't. It's beautiful, but I don't think it would suit me very well. But it is such a beautiful dress. You could wear this anywhere, but it's a nice casual dress, but it looks so sharp and so pretty. I think it's just one of those dresses you could wear and just feel really good about yourself. But what I love about it as well is it's a beginner dress. And Gemma's gone through and she did a demo on it. She's got some demo pieces to show us today and to show you just how easy it is to put this dress together. So really excited to do this. Now, don't forget now, we've got a wonderful demonstration coming up. So if you have got anything in your basket, please check out now, because then it's done. You've checked out and you can sit back and enjoy the wonderful demonstration with us. If you haven't shopped with us before, easiest way of doing that now is to watch this lovely video, and we'll be right back.
Shopping with us couldn't be easier. If you want to shop online, then you can head to our website, www.sewingstreet.com. It will redirect you to our sister channel Jewellery Makers landing page. Don't worry, you haven't gone to the wrong place. We're simply using their website temporarily while we're building our own web shop. Scroll down past the Watch Live part and you'll see all of the products that you will have seen on air on today's live show. You can also shop our catalogue by clicking a category, clicking a product to view closer, and adding it to your basket. Once you're ready to check out, you will need to create an account, which is absolutely free to do so, but it will mean that you can check out on as many orders as you want throughout the day with still only paying one postage and packaging. If you'd prefer to speak to somebody in our UK-based customer service team, then you can do so via the free telephone line number 0800 001 4433. They will not only help you create an account, but will also help you with any of your online shopping.
Welcome back, Jemma. So lovely to have you. I saw your show last week. You were fabulous. Welcome back.
Thank you. Hello, how are you?
Very well.
Good.
Bit of an early start, but we love those.
Yeah. Definitely.
So tell me more about this beautiful dress.
Okay, so the Isabella dress, as you've already highlighted, it is a very easy one to make. We will be going through today just how easy it is. It's all overlocked inside and 1 centimetre seam allowance, and then it's got the really nice pocket detail at the front here, which you can see.
It's very pretty.
And obviously, as we can see on the mannequin, it's worn with a belt, but you can also wear it without as well.
Oh, fab.
Yeah, so you can wear it as 2 options.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's a really easy dress to wear.
It looks beautiful, though.
Yeah.
Now, with one of the questions we do get asked with most of the dresses that we bring on is, can the dresses be made a little bit longer?
Yeah, so particularly with this dress, it is a very basic shape, so it should be easy enough to either add on to the length or you can shorten it. Okay. The same with the sleeve. So the hem turn, it's a simple 2 centimetre turn. Right. Well, it's 3 centimetres altogether because you turn 1 centimetre, then you turn a further 2. Right. So there's actually a hidden centimetre in there. But you just simply need to add on to that length, but just remember to keep the hem turn on that length, if that makes sense.
Oh, top tip. So you just add 3 centimetres on at the end of that?
Basically.
Perfect. So if you wanted to add an extra sort of 20 centimetres on, just add the 20 centimetres and that would then take it down if that people wanted
that is correct, yeah. So it is easy enough to do. The sleeve and the hem finish is exactly the same. So even if you wanted to extend the sleeves, you can do that as well. Or you could just have it without the sleeves because the seam finishes here. So you could just do it as a short sleeve if you wanted to as well.
Oh, gosh, that's a nice, beautiful detail on that as well. Now, tell me a bit about Pattern Preacher.
Yeah, so obviously Narinder is the owner. He came on the show last week and he's got 25 years experience in manufacturing clothing. Right. So we kind of felt as a brand that sustainability is kind of a growing market and there seems to be more of an interest on people wanting to make their own clothing. So that's kind of really why the brand Pattern Preacher has come about. And we want to basically offer patterns for people at home where they can make it their own really, either by, you know, designing it the length themselves, adding on to it, shortening it as we've just said, or obviously choosing their fabric. So it just makes it unique to each individual really, and that's what we want to offer. And we feel that the first launch of styles hopefully kind of cover all different types of body shapes, different occasions. We've obviously got the Olivia that was on last week, which is like a tea summer dress. The Grace Pinafore, which we'll be talking about a bit later.
I'm so excited about
that.
Yeah,
I love that one. In the corduroy, which you can wear.
Just teasing you. Come back at 10.
You can wear with like a polo neck or a jumper. So yeah, obviously that is pretty much why we've done Pattern Preacher, to be honest.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's such a nice way of doing it as well, and being able to make sure you got that sustainability. It's fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant.
We also offer obviously our booklets as well. So within the booklet, we explain what you need, how to prepare your fabric.
Oh, brilliant.
We always recommend that you press your fabric before you use it, just to make sure that your iron setting is correct. Okay. And it makes it easy to cut as well if it's not creased. As you've already mentioned, we've got the finished garment measurements and the body measurements. Right. So the body measurements obviously help our customer understand what size best suits them. And then we've got our lay plan, so we do show how we would advise to cut it. Brilliant. Depending on the width of the fabric. So we have accommodated to a 45-inch and 60-inch.
Okay.
In centimetres, that's 114 and 145.
Because ours is 145, the fabric that we're selling, so it would be the...
That would be the 60-inch
that would be the 60-inch one.
Yeah, and then just also as a helpful tip is your list of pattern pieces, so you can cross-check that you've cut everything correctly.
Perfect,
Yeah, because you can easily make mistakes.
And I suppose the good thing as well, having the letters, you wouldn't have missed one out.
Exactly.
If you're going A, B, F, G, you know, you've left the whole load out.
And the good thing with that as well is we actually say whether it's fused or not as well.
Oh, handy.
Yeah, so obviously you've mentioned the facing, and that in this particular garment, it's used inside here. There's a facing in the neck, which just creates that V-neck shape, and then there's also a small bit of fusing in the pocket as well to keep that strength.
Now, in quilting, if you're using Bondo web or anything like that, you would apply that before you actually cut the fabric. Would you do the same here?
Yeah, so we explained at the beginning, we call it like block fusing. So you cut a square bit of fabric out and a square bit of fusing out, and the easiest way is to iron it onto the fabric and then cut your pattern piece out.
Brilliant. That's exactly what we would do as well. So we've got a little bit of a crossover there.
It just makes it easier, yeah, definitely.
Brilliant.
And then just to finish off with the booklet, we then do the step-by-step instructions, which have got illustrations. So on this particular style, there's 3 pages there. But if you do find that difficult to follow, we've got a QR scan code on our packaging. I think it's on the back here. Yeah, just here. You can basically scan that and it takes you through to our YouTube videos.
Wonderful. Oh, what a nice feature.
Yeah, it just makes it a lot more easier for everyone.
It does, definitely. Because also as well, the great thing about us is because we put everything on YouTube, you can come back and look at the demo. But if you've got one as well, that makes it even easier in case there's bits on here you may not cover. That's then covered you on there as well. Yeah. What a nice little feature to have. And it's included free then with the pattern as well.
Exactly, yeah, because we offer French seams on some of our patterns, which seems a bit scary to some people because it's obviously a more complex seam.
Yes.
So again, the YouTube videos are really helpful for that because it explains the step-by-step on how to do it.
Brilliant. I've only done a French seam once. I did it perfectly and I've never done it again.
Great. There we go. At least you got it right first time.
Well, I'll never do it again because I'll ruin it after that. Now, what are you going to show us today?
Okay, so today I'm going to basically stitch the shoulder seam and the side seam to show how easy this dress comes together.
Brilliant.
It's going to create the shell, which will pop on the mannequin.
Okay.
Let me just grab it.
Of course.
I'm just going to put the iron on as well.
No problem at all. Gemma's just popping down to the basement to get that all sorted.
Okay, so in preparation to today, I've basically overlocked all of the edges you need to overlock, basically, just so it's not messy.
Now, if you don't have an overlocker, could you do a zigzag on your normal
Yeah,
sewing
of course
machine?
you can, yeah.
Perfect.
So you can do a zigzag if you don't have an overlocker, that's
Perfect.
fine. So this here just shows what the overlock looks like. So it is, like you said, you can also do a zigzag as well. It's the same thing. It just makes sure that you don't have a raw edge and the fabric's not going to fray inside.
Sorry to interrupt you. The pattern I'm hearing now is selling so incredibly well. I don't want to interrupt the demo on as we go forward. So please, if it is in your basket, please do check out. It's not a stock warning yet, but it is selling incredibly well. So do check out as you've got it in your basket, because until you've checked out, unfortunately, it's not yours. We just need you to check out to make sure you've got it. So.
Okay.
And it's a beginner's level pattern, brand new to us today. And sorry, I didn't want to interrupt any more of your demo on that.
That's absolutely fine. Yeah, so like you said, it is a beginner, so this is probably one of the most easiest garments that we have.
Brilliant.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by stitching the shoulder seam. Let me just grab some pins. Now, if you're using a fabric that's got quite a bit of movement, so this fabric's lovely to wear, but it can sometimes move a little bit when you're stitching it. So I would just recommend that you pop some pins in to match it nice at the top edge there. And if you put your pins in vertically, it just means that when the needle's stitching, it's going to stitch over the needles and it's not going to snap, basically. So I'm just going to quickly pop some pins along that seam.
This is for all of the fabrics we've got today. With that slippery viscose, sometimes it would move. You'd need to make sure that you're pinning it nice and safely.
I would suggest so. It just depends how confident you are on the machine, really.
But I have to say, these fabrics, I'm so in love with this one. I really want to make a nice shirt
I do
out of
like that green one. It is
it's
nice.
It's so pretty. Absolutely love that. It's just the detailing on it.
Yeah.
Love that. We have got some fab fabrics. That's really great.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I've pinned that in place like so, and you can see I've already stitched a little bit here. That's indicating a 1 centimetre seam allowance. So I'm just going to go on the machine and finish that seam.
Perfect. Now you stitch over your pins.
Yeah, or you can remove them as you go.
Perfect.
So I will probably remove them as I go just to make sure.
Well, it's live telly. What could possibly go wrong?
So just for your seam allowance, 1 centimetre, it's normally the edge of your foot you have to align to the edge of your fabric, if that
Now,
makes
if you're
sense.
overlocking, would that be the end of the overlocking stitches?
It's right on the edge, yes, so the very,
Perfect.
very edge of your fabric. So yeah, you're right in saying it is the end of the overlock as well.
Perfect. I was very impressed. You're very brave. You're not even using the foot. You're using just the buttons. But I suppose you get much more control over doing it.
Yeah, I have a Janome at home, so I'm used to just pressing the button.
It's brilliant. So what is your role in Pattern Preacher?
So my title is marketing manager. So I work quite a lot on, sorry, I'm really bad at multitasking, developing the garments and the booklets, sorry. I call them tech packs, but they're booklets, the instruction manuals for everybody. And I just do a little bit of demonstrating as well. So when you go onto the YouTube videos, you will see that it's actually myself that's in them.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, so it was myself that basically done the step-by-step for everybody.
Fantastic.
So you'll recognise my face.
Good.
And then just remember to do a back tack at the end as well to make sure that the stitch doesn't unravel. Trying to remember all the little techniques on this machine. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to press that seam open.
Perfect. You should have your trusty June Taylor and your lovely iron ready to go now.
Yeah, I put that on a minute ago, so it should be nice and warm now.
Just check.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's a good way. I've never done that. That's really clever.
Yeah, just pop your hand on and double check.
That's very good. I see all these ladies that I sew with, they're well into their 70s, bless them, and I adore each and every one of them, but they always take their hand and then put it straight on the iron and tap it.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, don't do
No,
that,
no,
don't do
no.
that. She's like, I've been doing it for decades, it's fine.
That's funny. Okay, so you're basically just going to use the iron of the nose of the iron, sorry, to press it open. So I've gone off a tiny little bit, but you can see roughly there that is now it pressed open with the seam allowance.
Perfect.
Okay, we're now just going to do the side seam, and that is basically it stitched all together because
No,
I'd already done.
It can't be that easy.
Well, I'd already done the other shoulder seam, and I'd already done the other side seam to speed
But it's
things
just
up.
doing that twice.
That's literally all that you do. That's how
my
easy. That's how
goodness.
easy this garment is. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, clothing making has just suddenly become very appealing.
Yeah, this one's very easy. So.
But if you look at the stress, if you're buying this dress in a boutique, you're paying so much more for it than you are just for the fabric and the pattern.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
I know.
brilliant. And the great thing about getting a pattern, as you say, you can personalise it as you like. And if you then keep those patterns, you can just keep going and making it as many times as you like in different fabrics.
Definitely, yeah. And obviously on our patterns, we obviously have different lines that indicate different sizes. So if you keep the patterns, obviously you can then, if you wanted to make it for a friend who's perhaps a size smaller or a size bigger, you've got that there as well, that you can you can measure and see what the increments are between each size, if that makes sense.
Of course. But I suppose on the back of your pattern as well, you put down the different sizes as well, which would make all the hard work done for you, really.
Yeah, basically. The other thing that some people do is they trace the pattern as well. So they trace it onto tracing paper, so then they can basically reuse it. Sorry, I'm just going to pin it this way around.
Sure. So we've got these wonderful light boxes, which I adore. I do a lot of foundation paper piecing, and I use my light boxes a lot for that. That would be quite good as well, wouldn't it, for tracing out your patterns?
Definitely for the tracing, yeah, it'll make it a lot easier. Better than your typical putting it against the window in the sunlight.
Indeed, we've all done it. We've all done it. Because as well, if you can make it, as you were saying, with different. If you're making it for friends as well, you can make different sizes, and then you can just put that down for all your different friends' names. You could pop that down there with the different sizes.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I think as well, a lot of people talking about sustainability. A lot of people are actually doing a lot more making for people now, which I think is lovely.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a growing market. I think there is obviously this interest for everybody wanting to make their own clothing. It just makes everyone more unique and individual then, doesn't it?
Of course.
Okay, so I'm going to start from the hem and feed it up. It's up to you whether you start at the armhole or the hem, just whatever you find
You'll end up with
easiest.
the same finish, won't you?
Yeah.
It's just about what works easier for you.
Depends what you feel more comfortable with on the machine.
Now you did an tacking back and forth on the end of your last row. Would you do those at the beginning of each row as well?
Yes, sorry, I didn't say
That's
that. Yes,
all right.
always at the beginning and always at the end, just to make sure it doesn't come undone.
Now this machine has a locking stitch. Would you do the locking stitch or do you prefer the back and forth?
I guess you could use the back and stitch. I've always just used back and forth, to be honest, but I assume either would be fine.
But that works.
So it is really as simple as just stitching in a straight line. I mean, I say that's simple, but sometimes it can be a little bit
for
more...
me, I struggle with that myself.
As she says, and she goes off of line.
It's live, Taylor. What could possibly
If it goes
go
off
wrong?
line, I just lift the foot up and then just kind of try and realign it.
Fine. But that's the great thing, because it's perfect for a beginner. If you have made these two little adjustments there, it doesn't really matter because the dress will still hold together.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm a little bit OCD, like a bit of perfectionist, to be honest. So if it does bug you, obviously, of course, you can always just unpick it and do it more straight. But once you're wearing it, you're not going to see that much.
And the thing is as well, if you didn't want to unpick it, I suppose you could just go back and do the seam completely straight because you're only turning that seam out.
Yeah, you're right. You could just, as long as you go a bit further in,
Yeah.
you won't see that wonky line, definitely.
Because what's so great about this as well is that it's such a loose-fitting outfit that's, if you wanted to wear the belt, you can then have a much more figure-hugging one. But it's also then, if you don't want to wear the belt, it's a little more forgiving if you'd prefer not to.
Definitely. I'd say it's a really good outfit to wear, like if you're going out for a big dinner. You know, when after you've eaten a really big meal and you just want to be able to breathe a little bit, you can then undo your belt and no one will ever know that you've just had a massive dinner.
Exactly. But as well, it looks terribly comfy, but it also looks very pretty as well.
Yeah. I think it also depends on the print of fabric that you go for as well. That will obviously really make it.
Exactly. But the pockets in the front, I think, are beautifully done. You can barely see them.
Yeah, you can't see them. You could even do like a contrast pocket. You know,
wow.
you could do like, because you've obviously got the navy there, so you could put the navy, or if you've got some black, you could put the black on the leaf fabric.
Ooh.
As a contrast.
That is going to work. That would work really well. Well spotted. Putting some of that as a contrast there, that would work really well. So the pockets on the mannequin, I'm going to be off suit and I'm going to disappear over here just to show the pocket here. So the pockets are just over here on the side. If I just take the Isabel sign down, you can see the pockets are just here and just here. They work really beautifully and they're almost hidden, but they're so perfect. And they're quite deep as well. We like a good pocket. Now, trying to get back onto this gracefully. Thank you, Paul.
Okay. So now we're just going to press that seam open like we did on the shoulder seam, exactly the same way.
And you just take your time doing this nice and slowly, don't you?
Yeah, nice and slowly, just so it's pressed, because you want it to be pressed as flat open as possible so it just sits nicer and so you don't have like a pocket seam really.
Perfect.
Now, I'm going to show in a minute how to do the pocket, but when you attach it on, you need to, you'll find that the pocket goes into the seam. So this section here is actually a little bit thicker because you've got the pocket in there as well. Yeah, so just be careful of that when you're running the machine along.
Now, when you are putting the pocket, you mentioned that there was interfacing on the pocket. Is it the whole pocket that has the interfacing or just the part of it?
It's just a little bit of the facing, so I'll show in a minute which part it
brilliant.
is. It's a really, really small amount. So,
Because of course I don't do dressmaking or clothes making, so I get very excited whenever anybody does this, so I can see how it all works.
so this is the front. So you can now see that is the shell that's come
my
together, just like
goodness.
that, basically. So I'll pop it on the mannequin so we can see it better.
That's extraordinary.
Obviously,
can't believe it was so
is
easy
just
to
the
make.
shell. So I'd already hemmed it as well. So the hem, I can show you a close-up of the hem in a minute. But yeah, so what you'd then do is you then put your facing in here, which is how it's been done in here.
Right.
So that section in there has fusing, and then the pocket has fusing, which we'll talk about in a minute.
How wonderful.
But that is how easy it comes together.
That's fantastic. So this one that we've got over here has a full sleeve. That one you haven't put the sleeve on yet.
No.
But even like that, that looks really pretty.
Yeah, it looks lovely, doesn't it?
But it looks really casual, and I'm imagining then with a belt, it would just smarten it up that little bit more if you wanted to.
Yeah.
'Cause especially in this weather sometimes, it's been incredibly hot. Having
It's a really
something-
airy dress.
It's really pretty.
Yeah.
Because of course, a lot of all the ladies I sew with are of a certain age, so they all have these hot moments, bless them. And luckily, oh, there goes my chair.
Nearly.
And I really did just drop it. So the great thing for them is they like wearing things a lot more airy as well, and that's
Yeah.
a beautiful way of doing it.
Yeah, definitely. So that is how easy it is. Obviously, I've done the pocket before. I'm going to show you now how to do the
Perfect.
pocket. And the hem, like I've explained, is a really simple hem turn. It says in the booklet here, it's the 3 centimetres, so 1 and then 2. Yeah. So just here, it shows you on step 26 for the skirt hem, and then step 17 for the sleeve hem.
Oh, fabulous.
Really easy.
Nice and simple. But you're going to
So-
show us the pocket now?
Yeah, so with the pocket, so the bit that's fused is the small little
Oh
facing.
gosh, it is very small.
Now, with this pocket, because this fabric moves quite easily and you need to get the corners really precise, I've actually fused the pocket itself.
Perfect.
Now, the instructions don't say to do that,
Okay.
but that's just my suggestion to make it easy, because I found when I was trying to stitch the corners, it was really slipping.
Okay.
So I've used the pocket and the facing, but it's up to you. It should just be the facing.
But that wouldn't add any weight to it or anything that won't be distorted. It'll
No,
look
like
fine.
I've done it to this one. You can see it.
Perfect.
It just fits quite nicely. Like there's a bit more weight to it, but I don't think it looks bad at all, to be honest.
And of course, you're going to be putting things in the pocket anyway. It adds that little bit of extra support
Yeah,
too.
exactly. It adds that more strength. Okay, so with the pocket.
And the interfacing you used was this lightweight interfacing that we've got today.
Yes, yeah.
Brilliant. So this one is 90 centimetres by 50 centimetres. It's only $2.99. Such a great price.
Yeah.
We've
How
not
much
had
do you,
the
how
lightweight.
much do you get in that? Sorry.
90 centimetres by 50.
Okay, yeah. So you won't need any more than half a metre. So that's more than
Yeah,
enough.
that's
yeah.
definitely. I think you'd have quite a bit left over as well, don't you? Because
yeah.
you're not, the pieces you're cutting are an odd angle, but you don't use a lot of it. Because
Yeah.
even if you are doing the pocket, that's not a huge amount of interfacing for that.
Yeah, you'll find. I think these are cut as a pair because obviously you need 2, and then the facing's cut on the fold.
Perfect.
So you just fold it over. So you'll have loads left over of
Brilliant.
interfacing. I call it fusing interfacing. It's the
It's
same thing.
Yep.
Okay, so with the facing, you start off with overlocking the edge, which, like earlier, I'd already done prior to the show,
Perfect.
or zigzag if you don't have an overlock. And you can see here I've slightly indicated where we're going to stitch. So it's another centimetre seam allowance that we're going to stitch on the right sides together to apply the facing to the pocket, because it's then going to open like this.
And again, you would back and forward at the beginning.
Yeah, back and forward at the
Perfect.
beginning on this one. I'm going to go a little bit slower. Oh, that's a bit too slow.
It's finding that right balance, isn't it? And I also find as well when you're demonstrating on a machine that you don't normally use as well.
I know. You need to iron quite a lot throughout all garments, so I would definitely recommend you have like a little iron station, because someone asked that question last week.
Oh, great.
So I definitely have like a little station set up, because there's a lot of what we call as underpressing, where you're pressing the seams open basically. We're going to press this open in a sec.
But I do like having a little, I've got a nice little, I call it my little quilting nest, and I have my cutting board one side, machine, and then my ironing board this way, and I just swivel.
It's so easy, isn't it?
It is.
Convenient.
But I should actually get up and walk across the room and get my steps up, really.
I know. I've got like a little sewing room, and I've got like my table here, and then right at the end of my table I've got my machine here, my overlocker here, and my iron station here, but I have to get up to get to the ironing board. I'm like, oh no, it's so much effort.
We sell this wonderful little roll-in press when I have got to go. It's just a tiny little, let's see if I can find it. No, it's not there. But you just press it on the, it's like...
The rotary cutter?
No, it's a roll and press, so it's got like a...
Oh, right.
You can imagine a steamroller, but in
Yeah.
a tiny miniature form, and you literally just press the fabric down and
Yeah.
holds the seam down.
Oh, right.
They're really good.
crafty little tool. Okay, so on here you can see that I've done 1 centimetre seam allowance to attach the facing to the pocket. So now we're going to basically press it and it's going to fold this way, like so. So you're going to press the seam. Oh, let me get the angle right. So it is a little bit fiddly because obviously you've not got a lot there to play with. You're just going to press it flat.
Okay, so this one you press flat, not open.
Yeah, you're going to press it flat.
Perfect.
And then I'd recommend you come over to the other side and just make sure that you've really opened that up, because you can see I've caught it there. There's like a little pleat.
Now, if you did use steam on this, would that be a problem?
No, steam's probably better. I'm just not doing it today because I'm not familiar with this iron and I don't want stuff
Absolutely.
to go everywhere, if I'm completely honest. So you can now see that I've pushed the seam into the pocket.
Perfect.
Like that. Now what we're going to do is, I don't know how clear you can see it on the camera, but this is where your seam is here that you've just created. We're going to do a 2mm top stitch,
right.
And that's what you do in your facing and you do in your pocket, and it just prevents it from rolling basically.
Oh,
it just makes it sit more crisp.
Right. And that's just a 2mm one, so it's almost on the edge of your fabric.
Almost on the edge of the seam, yeah, almost, but just not on it, just right next to it. And again, you're going to do a back tack.
Perfect.
Trying to remember which button. I didn't do a back tack then, so ignore that. You didn't see that. On this one, you might want to go a bit slower because it's...
You want to make sure you get it neatly. Is your iron against something?
No.
Okay, sorry.
Panicked me. Is it okay to put it under there? Is that all right?
Of course, of course. So I've heard now a third of the stock has now already been checked out. We have got loads still in baskets. I think you're all just waiting to see what it looks like when it finishes. But if you have got it in your basket, do make sure you check out as you go.
Okay, so you can see the 2mm top stitch I've done next to the seam. We're going to do some more pressing again. This is what I mean about an iron station, you do quite a lot. So I would just recommend you just give that a final press flat just to make sure it's sitting nicely. And then you're going to fold this back into the pocket so that your top stitch is inside.
Okay, so it's on the actual seam that you've previously sewn.
Yeah, and where your seam is that you've previously sewn, that's going to be your fold line basically, and you're going to press that flat there. So you should find it will sit nice and crisp. Should naturally just sit there. I don't know why I do this with the iron. You know, when you wiggle it like this, I don't know why I do that.
It is habit though. I do it myself. You're kind of coaxing it into submission, I think.
Like so. So that's, just make sure you can't see like the lip, is what I call it, on the right side. And then the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to stitch this down now. So you're going to stitch on the overlock edge on the right side of the fabric just to keep that stitch down flat.
Okay. And you would then stitch that from the side that you've got it at the moment?
Either side, yeah. I'm probably going to start from this side because I just feel more comfortable with that. I'm right-handed, so I do everything that way.
And as you're stitching, you can feel that. You don't need to pin it or anything.
No, but what I'm going to say is if you just do like a little snip here, that will help you know where the needle needs to go in, basically.
Perfect.
And like before, you'll just probably find that the edge of your foot will naturally sit against the edge of the fabric.
Perfect. You're barely touching it, it just feeds through so effortlessly.
Yeah, just guide it slightly. Because this is what I mean, when it's fused, it does go through more nicely, whereas you may have seen when I was doing the seam when we first done the shoulder seam, it was moving quite a bit, and that is just because of the nature of the fabric.
Of course.
It also comes down to experience. If your experience of the fabric is better. Okay, so we can see this is on the right side, and then on the wrong side you can see it goes nicely all through the overlock.
Perfect.
So that is this top edge here on the pocket. It's this edge, so it's the facing bit. Now, what you would then do, have we got enough time?
How long have we got? About 5 minutes?
Yes, I'll just quickly show you what you would do next before you apply it. So these remaining edges then need to be pressed in by 1 centimetre all around the edge before you apply it to your garment, basically. So again, you don't have a raw edge.
Raw edge on the outside.
Yeah. So, thankfully...
As you say it just makes so much sense.
Yeah. So with this being infused, it will fold quite nicely.
So how many of these have you made for yourself?
I haven't.
Have you not?
No,
we need to fix that.
I
We've got some
know.
lovely fabric here.
Trying to persuade me. Like I said, I like that green one.
It is beautiful.
I don't sew enough of my own clothing, to be honest with you.
Well, to be fair, I've not touched my sewing machine for myself for at least 6 months now.
Really?
I suppose when it's your job, you're not quite able to do it for yourself often.
Yeah, because you do it all the time. When you get home, you're just like, oh. I do have evenings where I try and dedicate it to sewing, but it doesn't always work that way.
It's also been a very odd year.
It has, yeah.
So we'll definitely call it that.
Definitely. So once you've pressed it all in, you can either pin it like we did earlier on, with the needles going vertically, like so, and that just keeps it more flat. Especially on this corner here, you can see it's naturally wanting to lift up. And then what you would do is you'd stitch 2mm all the way around this edge when it's on the panel. So you get your panel of fabric, you mark on the pattern, there's a mark. Shall I see if I can find it?
Of course, that'd be great.
There should be a mark on the paper pattern on where you put your pocket.
Oh, brilliant. That's
Yeah.
so nice.
So you
Now,
can
when you mark that onto the actual panel, would you mark that on with a friction pen or chalk, or what would be your preferred method of doing that?
It depends on the fabric you're using. So this one, for instance, I found it easier to use pins.
Perfect.
Whereas if you've got like a white base, use a disappearing pen. If you've got a black base, you could use like a chalk
or
a tailor's
something,
chalk.
fine.
It's whatever
So you'd
you
alternate
feel.
that depending which one you want.
Yeah,
Perfect.
basically. So you can see here on
Oh,
the pattern
perfect.
for each size, if I put that there, each size you can see, so you can actually see a little blue mark where I tried to do it on this fabric and it didn't work, but I done size 10 today, so each dot indicates that, and then what you do is you flip it over and you do that on the other side.
Perfect.
Mark that on your front panel, and then you would apply the pocket. Say this is the fabric, you'd put it on like so, and then you're going to stitch. So you don't stitch this edge because that's going into your seam, but then this edge, and this edge, you're going to top stitch by 2mm, just like what we did on the facing.
Perfect. So the first time round, you'd be able to do that all the way around.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Exactly.
But it's such great detailing on there as well.
Yeah, so I think the pocket makes it really with this
It
garment,
really
with this
does. It
dress,
just
yeah.
adds that nice thing. Now, if you were doing a belt, is that also explained in how you were doing that?
Yeah, the belt's so easy.
course.
It's a rectangular piece of fabric. You stitch on one edge and one end. You turn it inside out.
Yep, that's the
Watch
fun
as though
bit.
it's the right way. That's the difficult bit
That's the
because it's
fun
so
bit.
long and skinny.
Exactly.
But if you use like a knitting needle
That's
or
exactly
a point
what
turner,
yes.
yeah, that should be okay.
Brilliant.
And that is as easy as that. And then you just close the top edge. You can either do it by hand or you can do it on your machine.
Because if
And
you
then
did the
it's
top
done.
stitch all the way around as well, you could add a little bit more interest in it as
Yeah.
well. Because that beautiful orange has worked so lovely on
It
that
does look
fabric.
nice,
It
doesn't
really
it?
worked.
Yeah, I was quite surprised. It looks lovely.
It's really good. We chose well.
We did.
Oh, it was so lovely to have you, Jemma. Thank you. And
Great,
you're back
thank
then
you.
at 10 o'clock.
Yes.
So
Gonna
we
do
are
the
going to
grace.
just remind you all how it is you can shop with us, and Jem will be back with us in an hour.
Shopping with us couldn't be easier. If you want to shop online, then you can head to our website, www.sewingstreet.com. It will redirect you to our sister channel Jewellery Makers landing page. Don't worry, you haven't gone to the wrong place. We're simply using their website temporarily while we're building our own web shop. Scroll down past the Watch Live part and you'll see all of the products that you will have seen on air on today's live show. You can also shop our catalogue by clicking a category, clicking a product to view closer and adding it to your basket. Once you're ready to check out, you will need to create an account, which is absolutely free to do so, but it will mean that you can check out on as many orders as you want throughout the day with still only paying one postage and packaging. If you'd prefer to speak to somebody in our UK-based customer service team, then you can do so via the free telephone line number 0800 001 4433. They will not only help you create an account, but will also help you with any of your online shopping.
Weren't they amazing? Such beautiful dresses. This is the Isabella dress here that we've made, and we've got this gorgeous belt detail on, beautiful pockets. And then this is the one that Jemma has just been showing with us earlier. Not got the pocket on, the belt on just yet, but this is just the shell. Just looks so effortless. It's absolutely lovely. It's been selling really, really well this morning. This is the Isabella pattern. Brand new to us today, and the great thing is if you didn't get all of that demo, we've got this wonderful little QR code on the back there that you just zap that with your phone and you'll go straight through to the YouTube channel to do that. The sizings on this dress go from 6 to UK 6 to 20. You're going to need 2.5 to 3 meters of fabric to do this. Our fabric that we're selling today is 145 centimeters wide, which is the 60-inch. So we've got those available here. You'll see the 60-inch. You can see it on the screen at the moment. You'll see width 60-inch. That'll tell you all the way along how much you need to get for that. So up to unit size 20, you'd need a 2.05 meters. We're always suggesting you buy a little bit more just in case something goes wrong. You've got that spare bit of fabric to do. So that was the Isabella dress that we've done already. At 10 o'clock, if you want to come back with us as well, we've got the Grace Pinafore dress coming up as well. Absolutely beautiful, that. Really good. So that's coming up at 10 o'clock. But check the website if you want to have a little bit of a free peek on what we're doing on that. Now, the fabrics that we've got today for this outfit they are just beautiful. Let me move this out the way. We've got this gorgeous green. Just look how beautiful that is. Absolutely stunning. And Jemma gave us so many great tips then of working with a lighter weight fabric. Make sure that you're pinning them correctly. It's just gorgeous. Look at that. Love this green. But then don't worry, we've got loads of different fabrics for you today. We've got the green. Let me start with the other floral fabric we've got here. So pretty. It's running away from me today. This almost matches my top. Really pretty fabric, that. Very, very pretty, that. Country Roses viscose there, $7.99. So the constitution of the fabric today is 98% viscose and 2% spandex. The next fabric we've got is our beautiful navy. This is so pretty. Oh, so pretty, that. Gorgeous colorway, that. So this is perfect for workwear as well. Just beautiful, beautiful colorway. $7.99 again by the half meter for this. And the pattern does say up to size 20, you need just over 2 meters of fabric for this, but we do advise you always buy a little bit more. Then we've got this beautiful dusty pink color. Absolutely lovely. You can see just how beautiful that colorway is there, really fresh. Love that. And then last but not least is this beautiful fabric we've had in our demonstration with our pretty little bunnies. Look at that. Again, oh, sorry, it was flipping around there. There we go. That's 145 centimeters by 50 centimeters there. That's $7.99 by the half meter. And look how sweet these beautiful little bunnies are. So just a fun, nice dress, that would be beautiful. And you can see that that was what the demo was in, and this is what we've got here. You can see how pretty that looks. It's so lovely. And this dress is just so beautiful. It just feels very airy. Looks great. Now, don't forget as well, if you do need to get some dressmaking shears, we've got these beautiful 27 centimeter dressmaking shears today. Really, really lovely. These $16.99 for these heavy duty dressmaking shears. 10.5 inches or 27.5 centimeters, those. Really, really lovely. Next ones we've got as well, when you are making this outfit, you will need to get yourself some lightweight interfacing. This one is 90 centimetres by 50 centimetres. And it's that bargain price of £2.99. Really, really great price there. And you'll have loads left over by making this outfit. With that, you'll have loads left over. But also don't forget, we've got our fabulous early bird today. Loving this early bird today. We've well over half the stock of this is gone. So there are two ways of looking at this. Either you're buying just the thread and you're getting these as free gifts, in which case this is then going to cost you £1.49 for a spool. All these beautiful 12 colorways there, 100 meters of each, 50 weight thread, 100% polyester. So £17.99 divided by 12, that gives that at £1.49. However, if we then took the price of these off and then worked out how much our thread is, you're paying £5.80 for this bundle of Schmetz needles. You're getting 4 70/10s, 4 80/12s, and 2 90/14s. That is £5.80 on Amazon at the moment. We've also got 40 of these beautiful pearl-headed prim pins. These are on Amazon at £3.07. So if you then took the price of these two off the £17.99, that means you're paying 76p per spool of thread here. And we all need pins and we all need these sewing machine needles. We've used one ourselves this morning because a needle decided to have a moment and we needed to replace it. So it's such a great deal that we've got on this beautiful early bird today. £17.99, 12 spools of thread, 100% polyester, 100 meters. And of course you've got that beautiful Gutermann quality as well, which is great. Oh, and don't forget as well, our early birds, they're only available while stocks last. Did you say half of it's gone? So over half the stock is already gone in our first hour. So I don't expect this to last until the end of the show at 12 o'clock. So do check out as you go. We don't want you to be losing out on that today. So we've got a fabulous hour ahead of us. We've got Nicholas Ball's book. Absolutely adore that. And we will be back after we've rechanged the set. See you in a moment.
There are two ways to shop with us, either via our website, which is www.sewingstreet.com. Scroll down past the live programme and either click on the Shop Our Catalogue banner to shop via category, or shop today's products by scrolling through the list under the email newsletter sign-up form. The other way to shop is via our UK call centre, which is 0800 001 4433.
If you love sewing, then you need the UK's favourite sewing magazine. Every month, you'll receive exclusive patterns. Follow simple step-by-step guides suitable for all skill levels to make your own stunning clothes, accessories and more, together with inspiring tips and tricks from industry experts. Join in and discover your love for sewing. Try Love Sewing today and get your first 3 issues for just £6.
Hello and welcome. We love hearing from you and we really hope that you can follow us on our social media platforms. We've got Instagram, which is @SewingStreet. We have Facebook. We've got 2 Facebook pages. One is the Sewing Street TV page and the other one is Sewing Street Fans. All 3 of these are monitored all the time by our wonderful team, and if you want to message us on air, drop us a line on either of those 3 and we'll definitely be able to answer your questions that you may have. If you post on the actual wall, we can perhaps answer there. Otherwise, message us as well. That works really, really well. Thank you so much for being involved, and it's only because of this community that we're able to bring you all these different diverse products and to be able to answer your questions that you may have. Another way you can stay in touch with us is by signing up to our newsletter. These newsletters are sent out to you very regularly and they include not only our guest profiles of upcoming guests, but also amazing shows that we've got coming up for you. And if you want to look at the amazing products before everybody else, that's the best way to do it. If you'd like to sign up and you haven't already, the link to follow is www.sewingstreet.com/sign up. You won't regret it. Thank you.
Hi there, my name's Alison Marion and I'm thrilled to be joining the Sewing Street family. I live in Staffordshire where I run a couple of sewing groups and I have a passion for vintage sewing machines and also applique. I've stitched in some form for as long as I can remember, but I absolutely love teaching and helping people stretch their skills and hopefully demystifying some of the techniques that can be quite daunting for beginners. So I'm looking forward to meeting the team and getting into the studio. See you soon.
If you'd like to get in touch with us during our live show and send in any messages or any questions, then you can do it on studio@sewingstreet.com. Alternatively, you can message us on our official Facebook page.
Hi, I'm Wendy Orlando and I'm a craft blogger. You can find me over at thecraftyco.com, and if you do head on over and have a peep, you will see that I'm a tutorial blogger. I do all kinds of crafts, but my passions are crochet, knitting and sewing, which I've done for over 45 years. In that time, I've made lots of mistakes, but I have learnt lots of tricks and top tips that I can't wait to share. What I'd like to bring to the Sewing Street table is to show that you don't need to have gone to university or have a degree in design to be able to sew. You just need passion, a bit of courage to take the first steps, and a whole lot of patience. Oh, and an unpicker. You will need an unpicker. I do hope that you will follow me as I take my Sewing Street journey, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon.
Would you like to take part in our weekly competition? If you do, then all you have to do is head to the Sewing Street fan page group on Facebook. Post your picture of your make. Myself, Debbie Shaw and John Cole Morgan love looking at all of your makes every week. We pick our favourite and announce the winner every Friday live on the show. Happy sewing and good luck. If you'd like to get in touch with us during our live show and send in any messages or any questions, then you can do it on studio@sewingstreet.com. Alternatively, you can message us on our official Facebook page.
Welcome back. I am so excited about this hour. We've got Nicholas Ball's fabulous book, Improv, Inspiring Improv. Sorry, I got that the wrong way around then. Inspiring Improv. But before we do that, I need to show you this incredible, fabulous Liberty fabric. Now, this is down to less than 7 meters left of this, and we can't get it back in again. So this is what we have, and it's not coming back. Not going to be able to get it again. If you want to go ahead on the website and see what's there, go ahead. This is all we have. So I'm going to start off by showing these to you. This one ends in number 30. This is called Tea Party, and look how absolutely adorable this fabric is. These have only been on... Is that right? That can't be the right price. Goodness me, sorry, I'm just looking at that because I thought this was $7.99 for a half metre. It's £5.49 for a half metre for Liberty fabric. That's incredible. Gosh, this is so pretty though. Look at the detailing on here. It's so sweet. You've got these wonderful little cupcakes and strawberries and beautiful little biscuits as well. I kind of want to say that that is a very well-known biscuit there, but I'm not going to use the name in case it's not. It just looks so pretty. It's so lovely. This is perfect for any form of quilting, but can you imagine making a beautiful little child's apron out of this as well? Pop some Odie coat on it as well. It could be a beautiful little play apron as well. Such beautiful, beautiful fabric. And Liberty. Can't believe that price. I'm sure that's wrong. But anyway, while it's there, get it. Less than 7 meters of this one available left now. We've also got 3 more of these gorgeous Liberties. This one ends in 90. This is the T for 2. Now this is the traditional ditzy style of Liberty, which you've got that beautiful tiny little flower, one on top of the other. Beautiful little girl's dress out of this, can you imagine? Something really, really pretty about this fabric. Really, really sweet. How many of this? Now this one has been selling really well this morning as well. We've got less than 5 meters of this left. So please make sure you're checking out as you go, because in case you didn't know, if you haven't checked out and you haven't paid for it, unfortunately somebody could call the call centre or check out ahead of you, and they'll get it ahead of you because it's the one who pays for it first that gets it. This one's ending 82, and this is so sweet. I love this one. This beautiful mint green with these beautiful teacups and pots. They're really pretty. How many? There are only 2.5 meters left of this one today. So please don't snooze on it. We want to make sure you get this, because look how beautiful this fabric is. I love it. They've got the little hearts all over the fabric there with the beautiful little sugar bowl there. Oh, they're just so pretty. Oh, is it gone? Oh, almost gone. We see somebody has put all 5 units in their basket. If you haven't checked out, it's not yours yet. Make sure you check out as you go. And then last but certainly not least is this one ending in 5-4. Just look at that Liberty there. So pretty. That is just a classic, gorgeous Liberty fabric, that. Again, £5.49 there for a half metre. And the detailing on this fabric is just exactly what you'd be expecting for Liberty fabric. It's so pretty. Loving that. You just see that gorgeous detailing on there. And there's only one colour on this fabric, which is that gorgeous grey. And you can tell the detailing on there is really good. How much have we got left of this one? So this one now, we've just finished the sale. There was a hesitation. There are only 3 meters left of that one now. So all of these, before they're gone, I just want to show you these all again to make sure you've seen them and you check out as you go. Perfect. Now, also today we are spoilt with product and wonderful things. We've got this wonderful new Creative Grids ruler. It's called Love My Quilting Friends. Now, all of you know Creative Grids do these wonderful non-slip grip dots on the back of the ruler. But over here, their little non-slip grip dots are actually giant, beautiful pink hearts. These are just so lovely. So that's your non-slip grip dot. And this is coming up at 11 o'clock. So stay tuned for that. But it's the most beautiful little ruler there to use. Really, really lovely. Now, while we're talking about all of this, I'm going to just quickly show you our beautiful ivory solid fabric. This is such a beautiful fabric here. Sorry, I've got in the wrong place. Now, this is £3.49 for a half metre. So I just wanted to show you that first because I'm about to cut into it. So I wanted to make sure I showed it all to you beforehand. This is the half metre of the ivory cotton, 100% cotton. Beautiful fabric there. So that's the ivory. We've also got this beautiful colour here, which I think it's called steel, but it might be called something else. We'll double check now. Called light grey, sorry, not steel, light grey, but you can see it's a beautiful colour there and it goes with virtually everything. Again, half a metre of that is £3.49. Just lovely, lovely colourway. Again, I'm showing you these nice and early because I'm about to show you one of my absolute all-time favourite quilting books ever. And now I know in the quilting world there are so many people to admire. There are so many people to talk about who've written most fantastic things. This book by Nicholas is one of the best I've ever bought. And I've bought it multiple times. I've given it as gifts. It's such a brilliant, brilliant book. This is £23.99 and this is all about improv quilting. Now, I've been very lucky enough to meet Nicholas a few times at the quilting festivals, and I was also able to go and do one of his classes in Basingstoke. Wonderful fabric shop there, gone to go down there and do that class with him. And he is so knowledgeable about improv quilting. Now, improv quilting is something that will completely blow your mind if you're a traditional quilter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go out of order to show you this book. So there we go. We start there. Now you look at this beautiful, beautiful quilt here, which is actually the front cover. This is actually a tree. And what Nicholas has done is he's actually gone and actually stitched little bits of fabric around to make almost a concentric circle to make this beautiful tree there. And to take that you don't use straight lines. There's no pattern on this. You're not going to, you'll do a design like this. You'll have a little design wall and you'll be able to then pick out your fabrics. But you can see over here, you'll pick your fabrics out. You'll cut them all out so differently. None of them will be the same. Your lines won't match up, and that's all absolutely perfect. And you literally take up every single little piece of fabric that you can, and you'll make these beautiful different designs on here. There are several techniques in the book, and there are different quilts that you can make. Like this is the tally quilt. And then if you want to do the fish, now he starts off by doing this beautiful design wall, and then he'll make this beautiful design and the quilt out of that. And it shows you how to, and he shows you in the book how to actually go around and make all of these different designs. You've got the liberated log cabin here, and it's just such a beautiful way of being able to make something so special and so unique with no pattern, and just trusting yourself that you're going to make something so, so beautiful. Now, the book is so detailed in all these wonderful different designs, but my favourite quilt from Nicholas that I've ever seen before is he put this into the Festival of Quilts in 2019, and he won, now I've forgotten the name of it now, unfortunately, forgive me, Nicholas, I forgot the name of it, but he actually won Visitor's Choice Award from all the people who came to the Festival of Quilts, and I think we have a picture of that quilt now, which I took at the Festival of Quilts. Oh, I miss it so much. Oh, it's coming, it's coming. Now, when you do this, I'm going to get into trouble for this, and I don't mind, because we have got the fabulous Kay Facets design wall in. Now, some of you may have watched me on the Channel 5 TV show, The Wonderful World of Crafting last year, where I got to meet Kay Facet and go to his house and have a one-to-one class with him on how to do colour and design, and he was just amazing. But I did chuckle because Kay said to me that the fabric that he's sold the most of in the world is this, his grey flannel design wall. And the reason being is it is so user-friendly and it is so easy to apply to any surface. I'm using Wonder Clips. You know I love my Wonder Clips. And all I'm doing is I'm attaching this to a wall. It's a flat surface. I'm using my Wonder Clips. And the reason I'm showing you this is because what is so great about Nicholas's design is you are going to need an area where you can hang things up. And because we've got this fabulous fabric from Kay Facet, this design wall, this is the perfect thing to use when you're doing one of Nicholas's projects. Now, all of these details are described in the book. I've marked them here. And you'll see the triangles here. This is on page 51. Now, as I said, I've been lucky enough to do a class with Nicholas, so I have done this with him before. And what I love about this is the absolute uniqueness of being able to make this quilt, these quilt blocks. And all you're doing is you are literally using scraps of fabric. Now, I absolutely love this beautiful orange. I love it. It's the Alison glass that we've got available. Absolutely love that. Oh, so what I'm going to do now is we have got an image now of the quilt that I'm going to now try and emulate a few blocks of. And this is the quilt that Nicholas made at the festival. And you can tell those beautiful triangles that look like wigwams and the colour coding on it. Nicholas has got such a fabulous, fabulous eye for colour. And you can see this quilt is so exquisite. And it just flows so beautifully. I absolutely adored this. So what I'm going to do is in no way replicate that because I'm sorry, Nicholas is way too talented for me to try and emulate that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a 2.5-inch strip of our beautiful Alison glass. I'm going to take some of our beautiful light grey that we had on a few moments ago. And all I'm doing is I'm taking one of my rotary cutter, and I do need a ruler, and I've just realised I'm going to now... The Creator Grid log cabin trim tool is really handy for this. So all I'm doing now is I'm just going to cut a piece of fabric, and you can see I was really, really cautious about how I did that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this into triangles. Now, the great thing about this is there is no piece of fabric too big or too small to do this with. Now, all I've done... So you can use this with any ruler you like. And we have got this lovely Love Your Friends ruler, which I can actually I'm going to use that. That's why our producer gets paid the big bucks. She turns around and says, why aren't you using that ruler? It's Brilliant. So what you'll see now is I've just randomly cut my fabric into 4 triangles. I'm going to make all of those into a block. And I know you look at me and go, no, you're not. That makes no sense. And this is just rough cutting the fabric. Now, I am oversimplifying the technique here simply because I have done it a few times before. Nowhere near as successfully as Nicholas, but I have done this a few times. And all I'm going to do now is cut up pieces of fabric, and literally any size triangle will work for this. So I'm going to just square this up and make this a full triangle. Now, the thing that blows everybody's mind is there's no measurements. Now, I've got this tiny little bit, you saw I cut up that little scrap of fabric. I've still got that tiny piece there. I am not wasting 1 millimeter of this fabric. So now I've got 6 triangles. None of them are the same, all different. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a piece of this, one of the triangles, and I'm attaching that over there. Okay? All I'm doing is I'm putting it one on top of the other. And next, all I'm doing is I need to just move this over. Now with this, the only thing that is normal and consistent that you would use usually is your 1/4 inch seam allowance. Just checking I'm doing this right. And I'm not doing this right. Sorry, I've just lined this up incorrectly. I can hear Nicholas at home going, nope, that's not right, that's not right. Yes. The great thing with this is there is no pattern, it's completely improvised, and you can do it how you like. And of course, I've not used this machine before, so there we go. And the great thing is you've got Nicholas's book to be able to guide you through this whole process. So if you haven't done Improv before and you are overwhelmed by it, that's absolutely fine. You will easily be able to do this. But also, Nicholas has got this wonderful blog called Quilts from the Attic, and you can then follow that from his book as well. And I have sewn that on the wrong way. So we're going to do a little bit of creative adjustment. And I'm just going to use another piece. There we go. I remember now. Sorry, Nicholas. I keep forgetting you don't need to do anything for this. Right, so you're sewing that onto the edge over there, and you're going to press that back. Where's my June Taylor gone? So we've got that. Now we've got this little piece of fabric that I made the mistake on. And all I'm doing now is I'm taking my ruler, lining it up with the triangle that I had over here, and I'm cutting off the excess that I don't need over there. And then all I'm doing over here is I'm taking that, lining it up there, and I'm sewing 1/4 inch down this side. And it is without question one of the most forgiving processes I've ever done, because like where I made an error on that first seam, it doesn't matter, because what you're going to do now is once you've pressed that, you just roll that back. Now, it's only because I made an error on that. What we're going to do now is you're going to just make this into a square. And in order to do that, you'll see on this beautiful little ruler that I've got here, I'm lining my 3-inch line up with the base of my triangle. And I'm cutting these off here. Don't cut towards yourself. I feel comfortable doing it. And there we go. There's my first triangle. Now, Nicholas advises you not to trim these, so don't. And all you do, you put that on your board. And my next one, I'm going to line up over here. And you just keep going. Now, all these little pieces of fabric that you've got left over, these tiny little triangles, don't throw them away, because all you do now is you've got that tiny little bit of grey. Got that tiny little bit of grey that we cut off. You just put that on the edge of a piece over here. And once you've sewn that edge on, you just press that back. And then now I'm going to make this a little bit bigger than I had the last one. And then all I'm doing next is where I've got my line of my grey triangle over there, I follow that line along there and I'm trimming that off. And I don't throw that away because that'll be another triangle that I'm going to do over there. Once I've cut that, I'm going to give that a nice good steam. And then all I'm doing is I'm taking my lovely orange fabric, got that there, taking my lovely orange fabric, I'm lining that across over here. And what's even better is I did not measure anything. All I did was stitched. So I know that I don't need that much fabric over there. I've just roughly cut that off. I then fold this back. And again, I've now got this tiny little triangle lined up, ready to go. And over here again, I'm going to line my ruler up against the bottom of the triangle over there. You can see my little grey triangle. I'm going to line my line up there. I'm lining that up over there. And then I'm trimming this down. And then over here, just taking my little ruler. And look, I've got this tiny little triangle with all that beautiful orange fabric. I'm going to pop that over there. And you can see as you go along with this process, now you'll see I've got a much bigger piece of orange here and that grey. I'm going to take that, line that up. I've done my seam. I rotate that back. And don't worry, there are loads of videos on YouTube by Nicholas that have done to show you exactly how to do this technique. And there is no right or wrong way of doing this. It's just a case of having fun and enjoying it. I then follow the line along here from my orange triangle all the way down. And you'll see as you go, you have got so little waste because now that tiny little slither of grey goes into my little triangle pile over here. And you'll see as you start doing this, you'll start developing little triangle pieces at the top to be able to make this wonderful process. And even that bit there, you just follow that down there, you've got another triangle. And it's just such a great way of not wasting fabric and having these beautiful, beautiful pieces when you're finished. Now I'm going to take a really long piece over here. Again, I just line that up with my 1/4 inch. Set my seam, and then I roll that back. Now remember, this is only one of the different techniques and designs in the book that Nicholas has written. There are several in there. You can make loads of different projects and different ideas. You can combine them. You can do just one technique. It's entirely up to you how you want to do it. And then what I'm doing there, I'll just trim this little bit off there. I line that up there. I'm going to line this that way. I must say this little ruler is perfect for this. Coming up at 11 o'clock. You can check it out on the website if you want to ahead of time. And the great thing is there is no set way of making these wonderful little blocks. But that is where this wonderful K-facet design wall comes into play, because as you build them, you can put them down. And then you think, actually, I want to put that there, and you want to put that on top of it. It's a beautiful way of being able to use the design wall by Kay Fassett to be able to do something so wonderful like this. So oh, we've had a message in from Kerry. Morning, Kerry. Oh, John, I see you have the wall up. I do. Oh, she bought a wall for her sewing room and it's fantastic. I did too. She uses it all the time to position pieces for all of her intended quilts. Me too. Isn't it wonderful? Well, Kerry, congratulations with your wall. Isn't it fabulous? And you can just see that gorgeous the gorgeous designs on here, and it is really easy to be able to just move things around. And if you don't like it, you literally just take it and put it in the middle there. And if, like Nicholas, you want to then just lay the quilts out, like he did with that beautiful quilt from the Festival of Quilts, you just lay them all out and then you can move them around and you can figure them out. Now, you're not meant to square these up until such time as you're actually ready to put the quilt together. And that's when you go, and Nicholas, as quite rightly said, if you did need an extra 1/4 inch on the bottom of this and you'd cut it off, you can't put it back on. So it's always good to leave all of that till the very, very end. Now, let's just go through the book with a bit more detail, so we can go through this. Now, the great thing is he talks about scale. He tells about the lack of cutting lists. And that is what actually freaks a lot of people out, is because there's no set pattern, because there's no set design. This is all down to what you want to do. That's why sometimes this book is a little bit intimidating for people. But I promise you, it is one of the most brilliant things I have ever done. I always talk to you about my friend Angie, who's been quilting for 45 years. She came on the course with me, and she is fastidious. She has to have a pattern. If it's a millimetre out, she gets very twitchy. She doesn't like it. She's really old school, making sure everything lines up. And she made a beautiful wall hanging out of this, and it blew her mind, and she's addicted. And the great thing is, all of your beautiful little scraps that you've got from all the quilts that you can do, you can just pop them in these beautiful little triangles as you go, and then surround them by a solid. Or if you've got more, you can put a solid in the middle and then surround it by the beautiful fabrics. You are just able to use the most gorgeous collection of fabrics. Now, the great thing is it tells you where his inspiration comes from. It goes all the way through these beautiful images here, buildings offering, exactly as he says, buildings offer a wealth of graphic shapes and clean lines to incorporate into our quilts. Just look at that. Isn't that exquisite? And then he tells you about the tools that you need, and the threads that he uses are Orifil, and he's got his own line of Orifil as well. Fantastic. And this is his studio. Look at that colour wall. Very exciting. He talks about thread, he talks about all of that, and then you go into the different techniques. So the first technique he'll teach you is curves, and it goes through about how to cut curves out and to be able to do all of that. Then he talks about inserts, which is about the tally quilt that I showed you earlier. And then he'll go through and talk about the triangles and these are rings, apologies. So you'll have a ring in the center, and then how you build that around the ring to be able to create these wonderful concentric circles. Then he talks about slabs, which are big just chunks of fabric, no set order on how they go. Talks about stacks to be able to put those together as well. And again, if you don't match the point in the middle, it's fine. This is why I think this is so perfect for me, because my points really match. It's great. This is about the triangles and being able to work with the triangles and make that work for you as well. You've also got the Improv jigsaw, which I love, and that's where our design wall behind us comes into play. And you can see that Nicholas has laid his out on his wall, and he's now laying his quilt out exactly as we were doing there. He's on a much more professional and a much larger scale than mine. And then he talks as well, which I love, because most books actually forget this process. He actually talks about the quilting as well. He works for Benina, and he's got a fantastic aesthetic with regards to quilting. If you just look at the way he's quilted around these, it's created this extra movement all the way around his blocks. It's fantastic. And here, echo quilting around the curves. It's just genius. And that level of detail, it's great that you've got that in the book to be able to refer back to on how you go. And he talks about binding as well, the best colour to be able to coordinate with your fabrics and how best to coordinate that. It's very, very thoughtful and shows you how to make it as well. Now, this is his favourite, his little puppy, so cute. And I think it's really good that he's put this troubleshooting category in, because it does answer questions of not sure how much fabric to use, and I'm worried I'm going to run out. What do I do if my pieces are too small, my seams don't match? I don't like what I've sewn, all my blocks are different sizes, and he goes through and discusses exactly what to do in all of that process, and it's great. And then we go and start building the quilt. Now this is a rough idea of how he's done his, and then it goes into talking about how to coordinate the colours and being able to then go forward and make something like that. So that one was the foliage one. Then we've got the desert dwellings, which was like the one that he did at Festival of Quilts. Then we've got the tree, which you can see, this is the outline of it, the cover of his book. And you go through and it shows you how you actually then create those curves and using the different colours to be able to make this beautiful, beautiful quilt here. Then you've got this beautiful night garden quilt, which I showed you a few moments ago. Again, you've got that beautiful colour aesthetic, and he's created this simple design idea of what's going to go where and how best it's going to work together. And that's what the quilt ended up looking like. And again, lovely little quilting notes telling you how best to quilt it as you go through. This was the tally, which I showed you earlier. It's got this beautiful tally system that you can then go and count all the way through. Again, you've got a rough layout of how best to do this, but you don't have to stick to that if you don't want to. Again, there's the beautiful quilt there. And if you follow this quilt back to his design drawing, it doesn't follow. It's all different. And that's what I love, is that you can create a rough idea of what you're doing, but as you're sewing it together, it may not work that way. And when you put it on the design wall like we've got behind, your way of being able to change it would go. The shawl quilt, I think, is absolutely beautiful. It's coordinating different design ideas on this, being able to create the curves. And this is great because you don't have to make a full quilt out of this. You can do this as, can you imagine that being the back of a jacket on a beautiful little waistcoat, having that as the back? Or doing some Shiko stitching on the top of this as well. It's a really nice way of being able to, also using coloured threads, being able to then create your beautiful coloured threads on there. It is just such a beautiful, beautiful book and so excellently written. I love the fact there are quilting notes on every single one of these. And look how beautiful that log cabin quilt is. But it's all completely unique, totally improv. Here's another one that he's designed called Drunken Tiles, which you can tell there, it's just got that pop of snowballing on some of the blocks. It just perfectly works. Again, that beautiful twill that he's done for the quilting is excellent. This I do think is fantastic. He's done the Warholian cabbage based on Andy Warhol. Again, here he's created that wonderful board with the cabbage there with a background of that beautiful dark grey, using all these different colours as you go through, gradiating in and out. And that was the cabbage that he made. And if you didn't think it was a cabbage, and I said to you it was a cabbage, you can immediately see that. Again here, these beautiful quilting techniques of being able to highlight the colours and the fabric and the shape. Really, really, really clever and inspired the way he does it. The kintsugi is so beautiful as well because these colours that he's used are just awesome. Again, look how beautiful that quilt is. And with the quilting on it, you can see that little tiny pop of detail over there with the mermaid is just that tiny little spot over there. It's so beautifully, beautifully written and such a beautiful way of doing this. And this quilt as well, absolutely gorgeous. So you can tell there are so many ideas. So not only have you got the plan of being able to make something like that, you've got the quilting ideas as well on how best to do it. And it doesn't end. You've got this gorgeous topography quilt as well. It's just these gorgeous, gorgeous ideas. And that one is a quilt of two halves. That was what the front cover of the book is. It's just absolutely stunning. It is definitely one of my favourite quilting books that I've ever bought. And if you haven't got it already, I do hope you'll try it out. It is such a fabulous, fabulous book. Nicholas Ball's inspiring improv, and I don't know about you, but I was so inspired when I started this. I planned out about 3 or 4 of them and unfortunately not had the time to start them. So do check out on that as well. Such a lovely book. Now, just to remind you all, we've got our fabulous early bird this morning. This is our Gutermann thread. You're getting 12 Gutermann threads on this. You're getting 10 sewing machine needles. Those are 470 10s, 480 12s, and 490 14s. And you're getting 40 of these beautiful pearl-headed prim pins. That whole combination together today is £17.99. If you forget that you're getting these and you're just talking about how much you're paying just to buy the cotton, you're paying £1.49 a spool. If you're talking about buying all of these and then working out how much the cotton's costing you because you need these anyway, you're paying £5.80 for the Schmetz needles on Amazon at the moment, £3.7 for those on Amazon at the moment, and we've got these wonderful spools then coming at 76p a spool. If you're ignoring the gifts that you're getting and just going to have those as free gifts, you're paying £1.49 a spool on that. That is saving you £2 today on this wonderful deal that we've just got as these normally priced. And such a great deal. More than half of the stock has gone already, so do please make sure you check out on that. We don't want you losing out. This early bird's only available while stocks last, so please do check out on that as you go. Now, we started the show by showing you some wonderful Liberty fabrics that we had, which we had very little stock of. Oh, it's pretty much all gone. Anything left? So the only one we've got stock, a lot of stock, did you say a lot or any? Oh, this is the only one we've got any stock with that's left. It's called Tea Party, and of course I've got it upside down. So that is what we have got left available. This is the only one we've got remaining. And it's such a great fabric. That's so beautiful. £4.49 for half a metre of that. And the detailing on this is just so pretty. I love these. Got beautiful little cupcakes. I'm going to call it a jammy dodger, but it's not a jammy dodger, but you can see what I mean. And you've got these wonderful little shortbreads with that lovely little bit of cherry or raspberry or strawberry jam in there. Beautiful fabric, that. £5.49 for a half metre. But now we've also got a whole collection of really popular fabrics for you today. Shall I start with the extra wides? Perfect. Which one are we going for? Perfect. So we're going to start off with these fabulous lilies. So this one, if I can find the code, 85. Now, I've been debating buying this lily fabric for an age now, and it's too late now because I'm on air, and there isn't a huge amount of the stock left. It's only 3.5 metres of this stock left. £5.99 for a metre of that. Look how pretty that is. Really beautiful, that. We've only got 3.5 metres left of that. £5.99, and just the detailing that we've got on these lilies is exceptional. Absolutely beautiful, that. Now, the next lily one we've got two lilies today. We've got a second lily. Now, this one we have got a bit more of. We've got 9 metres of this today. And that one is the elegant single lily fabric. Look how beautiful that is. By the half metre there. This, I think, would be an amazing backing of a quilt as well. £5.99 for a half metre. But I know there are a lot of people who have cats that can't have lilies in the house because cats are allergic. It's a nice way of being able to have the beautiful lilies in your home. Loving those. So then we've got this one, which is ending, this is the Daisy May, EBYH52. Now this one, we've only got 6 metres of this left, £6.99 by the half metre. And that's our beautiful Daisy May Country Life Small Pink Flowers on white fabric. £6.99 by the half metre for that. Loving these. We've got so many beautiful fabrics today. Oh my goodness, look at this one. I love this. This has got beautiful camper vans on it. LSYH93. Just such fun fabric. I know so many people are going away in their motorhomes at the moment and caravans and going camping and things. Isn't that just the most fun fabric? Making a nice little cushion, being able to pop that in your camper van. That'll be for you, Mrs. Collins. So that's £5.99 there by the half metre. Getaway beachside on white fabric. £5.99 by the half metre. There's such a lot of icons on here as well. This would be really good as well for fussy cutting out for English paper piecing. There's so many different projects that you can do for fussy cutting of EPP. That's a nice way of being able to do it. Oh my goodness, that one's gorgeous. ZPYH47. Look at this. Now this one I really like. It's just got this beautiful soft flower on it. It's really pretty. This is the Country Roads pink and blue flower on white. Half a metre there, $6.99. You know when you just look at a fabric and you think, oh, I quite like that. I love this. I would actually do quite a lot of binding in this. I think that's got a lot of colours in this for binding. And of course, I love my foundation paper piecing. I'm looking at this and thinking, oh, that could be quite a nice foundation paper piecing project, that. Because there's so many different colours and flowers in it. It'd be a nice way to be able to break that up. I think I've done that one. Have I done this one? No, this is Country Life. So EBYH52. Isn't this pretty? We've done this one. I thought we had. It's so pretty. Oh my goodness. So this, since I've shown you, you've only got 3 meters left of this beautiful one here. Very, very pretty. Then we've got our, and again, with lots of beautiful pink flowers here. WYYH30. So this looks like it's got a white background with this gorgeous pink design on it. It's really lovely, that. You can see the detailing on these flowers is so pretty. I love the little dots over here you've got around the flower, and it's exactly like you'd see with a normal seed on the flower. Very, very special. This is the Daisy May Country Life Daisies on white. Again, $6.99 by the half metre of that. Very, very pretty. Oh, I love these little shells. We've had this on once before. QIYH43. Now we only have 9 meters left of this fabric. $5.99 for the half meter of that. Can you imagine this is a backing of a quilt? That would be absolutely gorgeous, wouldn't it? Nice little festive quilt for your country lodge, or if you're going off on holiday, nice little holiday quilt to take with you. I think it would be more entertaining if we had talkback on rather than me. I think this is very funny. So Hannah, our lovely producer, was suggesting that we actually then go and line a wicker basket for your toilet rolls, which I think is great. I just don't have a wicker basket with my toilet rolls in. Next one is KSYH63. And this is really, really special, this fabric. Loving that. Just love the detail on all the little animals in there. There's a little hedgehog, lots of snails. Loving this. This is called Enchanted Gardening Cream Floral Fabric, half a metre for $5.99. Loving that. And of course, I've forgotten to unplug the iron. So I will be taking that out now while I fold this over. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that there so you can have a closer look at that. There we go. But you see what I mean about the detailing on this fabric. It's so special. Loving that. So $5.99 by the half metre for this one. And then we've got the, I think this is the same one, but in a grey background. This is code number OJYH30. Now, where it says Enchanted and Gardening green, they may be referring to the flowers that are green. I would have called it in grey, but that's just me. But you can see the level of detail of this is just beautiful. Love that. Luckily, I don't get to name the fabric, so I can't have any comment on that. But that is our Enchanted Gardens on green. Next, we've got these beautiful, beautiful colours here. And the code on this one has been surreptitiously hidden. USYH17. So this is the Daisy May Country Life Berries on navy fabric, 1/2 metre, $6.99. But those strawberries on here are just so sweet. The detailing on these fabrics, I think, is incredible. See these strawberries, the detailing on them is so beautiful. I love fabric that's got really good detailing on. It's got a great colourway to it as well. And then in the same range, this one is FDYH13. I'm checking I've got this the right way round. Look how pretty that is. This is the Daisy May Country Life Flowers on white fabric, 1/2 metre, $6.99. Hannah wants this for toilet rolls again. I think this is good. I just want to know how many toilet rolls Hannah's got. Oh. That's actually quite a good idea. Sorry, I've just got, this is why I say talkback's amazing. If you're wanting to put a border on a quilt, you could actually cut these out and have that as a beautiful floral border on your quilt. It's a nice way of doing that. I like that. And then last but not least in this collection is MFYH32. Beautiful strawberries again with that gorgeous flower. Daisy May Country Life Berries on yellow fabric, 1/2 metre for $6.99. Really beautiful detailing on this. And then we've got, I think these are them. We've got KJYH18. Now, all of the fabrics I'm showing you today, unfortunately, are very, very low on stock, so we don't want you missing out. So do check out as you go. We don't want you to lose out. If you haven't actually checked out and paid for it, unfortunately, somebody can take it out of your basket. We don't want you losing out on all these beautiful fabrics. You always regret that fabric you've left behind. And then XUYH02. Loving that. That's a Country Road Pink Blossom on white fabric, 1/2 metre by $6.99. And then last but not least, we've got WNYH87. So this is the Country Roads Pink Blossoms on navy fabric, 1/2 metre, $6.99. Now, as many of you know, tomorrow is a 5-hour Christmas special. I am so excited about that. And the only reason I'm mentioning that is I'm going to start off with our beautiful, beautiful red crosshatch backing fabric, because this red crosshatch backing fabric is going to be perfect for most of your Christmas makes. This gorgeous, gorgeous red. You're getting 2.8 meters of this. So you can tell I'm not even on the set anymore. So I'll come over here, and I've still got this much. Still got this much left. So that's about just under a metre. And you can tell you've got loads left on here. 2.8 metres by half a metre for £8.99. But what's so great about this fabric is that beautiful crosshatch. This would be perfect for any form of Christmas bag you're wanting to make, backing of a quilt, if you're wanting to make aprons, any form of clothing. Just wanted to make some Christmas pajamas, this would be beautiful. Now we do list it as backing, but just remember you're getting 2.8 metres by half a metre of fabric. That's a huge amount of fabric, so it doesn't need to be for backings only. You can do anything with them. They just call it backing fabric because most quilts call for a larger backing. And this is just a really beautiful Christmassy coloured fabric that you could easily make for any of your makes. Yeah, you can be ahead of the curve then for our Christmas make tomorrow. 5 hours of Christmas. I am very much looking forward to that. Next, we've got our wonderful, and speaking with Christmas, can't have red if you haven't got your green. Got our lovely Susan over here helping us. I'm loving her little pinafore, Susan. Can you see her little pinafore? Might not be on screen at the minute, but what this is coming up at the 10 o'clock hour back with Jemma. And we've got this lovely green again. Really special. Oh, Susan's trying to get more in on the pictures there. You can see she's rotating ever so slightly. Again, 2.8 metres of it. Gosh, doesn't that green go beautifully with that K-facet design wall? Oh, I like that. Now remember as well, I've been walking past this all the time. These have stayed here. You know, you can waft as you go past them without being any problems on it. So this is that gorgeous green crosshatch that we've got. And that's 2.8 metres by half a metre of this. And it's such a lovely colourway as well, which would work very, very well for our Christmas projects that we're doing. If we're wanting to be more sustainable, making all your Christmas bags, your gift bags. I know Alison Marion did that wonderful Christmas cracker pattern a couple of weeks ago. That was so, so special, and doing them in this would be beautiful. So that's our lovely green. And then last but certainly not least, we've got our beautiful aqua colourway here in this crosshatch design. 2.8 metres of fabric here, really, really special. And look at those. 2.8 metres, that gorgeous aqua colourway. Really, very special there. Again, $8.99 for 2.8 metres by half a metre. Such a great price point. And I know we mentioned it as a backing fabric, but you can use this for anything. It's got great quality, 100% quilting cotton. Really great quality, that. $8.99. Now I think our star of this hour, I don't know whether it's a star or not, but we've got the wonderful book by Nicholas Ball, Inspiring Improv. Absolutely gorgeous book there. We've gone through that with some detail today. I've tried to do the odd demo here and there of the beautiful triangles there. Don't forget your K-facet wall hanging would be a perfect addition when you do get this to lay your blocks out as you go along. You can see how it's growing all the way along. Such a great, great feature, that. Beautiful, beautiful book here by Nicholas Ball. Wonderful improv designs, different ideas, lots of different tips on how to do it. Now remember as well, we've got lots of people who've got the Nicholas Ball book in your basket. Do please remember, we haven't got huge amounts of stock of them. If you haven't checked out, unfortunately, it's not yours until such time as you've actually paid for it. It's not. You can check out as many times as you like throughout the day. You don't get charged any more or any less. We just don't want you to lose out on it. We're not going to cost any more because you're only paying the $3.95 postage and packaging throughout the day. So do check out as many times as you like. You don't have to worry. And that's whether you check out on the call centre 0800 001 4433, or if you're doing it on the website, as many times as you like, you can check out. Now we've got two fabrics that are our most affordable fabrics of this hour. This is back by popular demand. Each time we've had it on, it is sold so, so incredibly well. And just look at this. This is the most beautiful, beautiful cotton fabric here. This is the most affordable pattern fabric that we have. $4.99 there for that beautiful black with metallic gold dot on there. And it is so good. The metallic on this is so vibrant. It's wonderful. Loving this. I've had this on before and it's sold so well. I'm so pleased we've managed to get some of it back again. But if that's not going to whet your appetite, we have got the most beautiful brand new fabric this hour. That was the first time we've had it on. And again, the most affordable pattern fabric that we have. It is just so special. Look at that. Oh, I think I've got it upside down. Sorry. There we go. Oh no, it is multi-directional. Look at that. It just looks like a little snowy winter's morning. And I actually am looking at this and thinking, I'm busy making a winter quilt at the moment. This is perfect for backing. Just look at the detailing on there. You can just imagine all your foliage being covered in snow as it's got that beautiful blue background there. So whimsical. I love this fabric. This is the floral cotton poplin aqua fabric, 1/2 meter for $4.99. Such a great fabric that. And of course, brand new today to us. And I can't believe it's so affordable. It's wonderful. Now the next hour we've got the Grace dress in, and I had the pattern here and I've put it somewhere very safe. Oh, I can bring the Pinafore. That makes more sense. I don't need to bring you the pattern. Excuse me, Susan. Don't lift Susan from the top. You can lift the other ones from the top. Oh, ow. So there is our wonderful Pinafore dress. Oh, it's so pretty, isn't it? Loving that. So that's coming up in the next hour. And oh, it's so pretty. And I love the fact we've got it in different colours as well. So that is coming back at 10 o'clock. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Debbie Shaw, and as a professional sewer, I really know how important it is to use a high quality thread. Well, you think about it. You spend a lot of money on your sewing machine, you'll spend a lot of money on fabric, and you'll spend a lot of time sewing. So why let your thread let you down? I know a lot of our designers and customers prefer to use Aurifil thread. Now this is a family business. It was established in 1983 and they're based just outside Milan in Italy. They produce superior quality threads for domestic and professional sewers alike, and they've achieved worldwide success with quilters, sewers, embroiderers and textile artists who all appreciate the versatility and the strength of these threads. It's all made from Egyptian cotton, which is grown just at the side of the River Nile, and Aurifil only use the long staple threads, which gives their thread that strength. Each one of these threads goes through 15 steps before it even gets onto a spool and then comes to you to use in your sewing projects. Now at Sewing Street, we've collaborated with Aurifil and we've brought you 2 collections of threads. So we have the Quilters collection, and these are exclusive to Sewing Street. We've done a lot of research with quilters, and these are the colours that you prefer to use. So we put a whole collection together for you. The second collection is the Essential collection. So this is for the homemakers, for the bag makers, for the craft sewers, for the dressmakers. And again, these have been proven to be the most popular colours that you're going to use. So if you want your projects to last longer and your seams to be stronger, invest in some quality thread.
Shopping with us couldn't be easier. If you want to shop online, then you can head to our website, www.sewingstreet.com. It will redirect you to our sister channel Jewellery Makers landing page. Don't worry, you haven't gone to the wrong place. We're simply using their website temporarily while we're building our own web shop. Scroll down past the Watch Live part and you'll see all of the products that you will have seen on air on today's live show. You can also shop our catalogue by clicking a category, clicking a product to view closer and adding it to your basket. Once you're ready to check out, you will need to create an account, which is absolutely free to do so, but it will mean that you can check out on as many orders as you want throughout the day with still only paying one postage and packaging. If you'd prefer to speak to somebody in our UK-based customer service team, then you can do so via the free telephone line number 0800 001 4433. They will not only help you create an account, but will also help you with any of your online shopping.
Hi, I'm Debbie Shaw from Sewing Street, and these are my 5 top tips for successful sewing. So, number 1, always use a good quality thread. A good quality thread will keep your seams stronger and also help to prevent lint building up inside your sewing machine. Tip number 2, if your project isn't going quite according to plan, put it down, walk away from it, come back again the next day and you'll probably find that things don't seem half as bad as they did. My tip number 3, never throw away your sewing machine manual, always keep it to hand because you're going to find hints and tips, techniques and troubleshooting in that manual. You'll miss it if you lose it. My tip number 4 is to read your pattern instructions before you even cut out your fabric. Different manufacturers of patterns will give you different instructions, different ways of constructing your garments and different seam allowances. So to have a successful garment, you need to follow the instructions precisely. And then tip number 5 is don't give up. Every professional sewer sewed their first seam. Every professional quilter quilted their first quilt. Every professional quilter sewed their first line of wonky stitches and had to get out the quick unpick. That's no different to you. So I hope you find these useful. If you want more hints and tips, then why not go to Sewing Street on channel 74 on Freeview, on Sky 670, and of course we have a YouTube channel where you can catch up on previous demonstrations. We'll see you soon.
If you'd like to get in touch with us during our live show and send in any messages or any questions, then you can do it on studio@sewingstreet.com. Alternatively, you can message us on our official Facebook page.
Welcome back. We've got Jemma, sorry, from Pattern Preacher with us now doing this fabulous Grace Pinafore dress. Isn't it just beautiful? Brand new to us today. Absolutely stunning design. Able to put whatever t-shirt you want underneath it as well. Such a great, great, great pattern there. So we've got this today, the Grace Pinafore pattern. And that is $15.99. The sizes that you can do go from size 6 to size 20. If you are going to be getting your fabric with us, 45 inches. For the largest size, you'll be needing 165 centimeters, so 2 meters. Failing that, if it's 150 centimeters wide, you'll be getting 1.55 meters. So with us as well, you'll be getting that at 2 meters. And it's just such a fun dress. Now, we've got several different options for fabric for you today. We've got this gorgeous, gorgeous canvas. I adore this colour. This is called ochre. Just the most gorgeous, gorgeous fabric, this. Now, this is 100% cotton canvas. It's got a beautiful, beautiful feel to it there. $3.99 by the half metre. And the maximum amount you'll need is 2 meters to do this. That's for the biggest size, size 20. But if you go and look on our website and type in Grace, Grace for the name of the pattern, you'll be able to see the second picture along. We'll have all the measurements that you need, all your measurements, comparing it to the sizing, and then what fabric you'd need to do with that as well. Now we've got our wonderful, I think this is a charcoal canvas, or is it black? Oh, black canvas. Beautiful, beautiful feel to this as well. 100% cotton there, black cotton canvas fabric, half meter for $3.99. Got a lovely feel to that. And as well, you want something with a bit more weight. Oh, excuse me. Forgive me. Sorry about that. It's just that you want something slightly heavier to make this beautiful dress, because you wanted to have that bit more weight to it as well. So these canvases would be fabulous. If you wanted to have a sort of crushed velvet to it, look at this red. It's so beautiful. So this is a wine red cotton velvet fabric, half a meter for $4.99. Again, it's got that wonderful velvety feel to it. Beautiful colour. It's got a gorgeous colourway there, really pretty. So that's $4.99 for a half metre there for that beautiful velvet. And then we're going on to our gorgeous denim feels to it. We've got these gorgeous denims. Now these are all medium weight denims, 100% cotton. And this is the dark denim. Now this is a true denim. And it's got a beautiful, beautiful feel to it as well. Medium to heavy weight wash denim here. Dark blue, $4.99 by the half metre. Love that. So if you don't want something quite so dark in a denim, we've got our medium denim here. Again, all of these feel so, so lovely. That's the medium to heavy weight washed cotton denim. This is a medium blue, half metre, $4.99. These would also be really good if you wanted to do rag rugging or rag quilting as well. Alison Marion had that beautiful crisscross quilt on the other day. This would be perfect for that. That nice little frayed edging to be able to do your quilting with. Now, if you wanted a slightly lighter denim as well, we've got this one. Absolutely fabulous, this. Now, these are actual denim. They're not a look-alike. These are actual 100% cotton denim. This is a medium to heavy weight that we've got. And this is the light blue, half a metre for $4.99. So then we're going to just remind you what it is we're making today. We're making this wonderful Grace Pinafore dress. Goes from size 6 to 20. And you can see it's got that beautiful, beautiful look to it. Now, if you look this up on the website, you'll be able to see all the sizing and dimensions that you need in order to figure out what size you are, what you would be classed as, whether you're a 10 or a 12 or whatever your size is. It goes from a size 6 to a size 20. So not only has it got your measurements, but it'll also then give you the corresponding size and then equally the fabric that you'll need, whether it's a 45-inch or a 60-inch fabric, how best to do that. Now, it does say this is a beginner pattern as well, and the last beginner pattern we had on in the last hour was really, really easy to do, so I'm hoping Jemma's going to be able to show us some really good tips on how to do this. Now, we're going to just give you a little slide as to how to buy and get Jemma on.
Shopping with us couldn't be easier. If you want to shop online, then you can head to our website, www.sewingstreet.com. It will redirect you to our sister channel Jewellery Makers landing page. Don't worry, you haven't gone to the wrong place. We're simply using their website temporarily while we're building our own web shop. Scroll down past the Watch Live part and you'll see all of the products that you will have seen on air on today's live show. You can also shop our catalogue by clicking a category, clicking a product to view closer, and adding it to your basket. Once you're ready to check out, you will need to create an account, which is absolutely free to do so, but it will mean that you can check out on as many orders as you want throughout the day with still only paying one postage and packaging. If you'd prefer to speak to somebody in our UK-based customer service team, then you can do so via the free telephone line number 0800 001 4433. They will not only help you create an account, but will also help you with any of your online shopping.
Welcome back. We've got the lovely Jemma here from Pattern Preacher.
Hello.
Lovely to have you back. Did you have a good break?
Yes, good, thank you.
Good, good. Tell me more about you, because some people may not have seen you in your last hour. So
Yeah.
tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, so myself, I come from a design background. I then worked in merchandising and now predominantly do production. So I've always been very involved in fashion.
Fabulous.
In terms of like my sewing, where I started with sewing, I started from quite a young age actually. My nan used to take me to a lot of quilting workshops.
Oh, lovely.
And that's kind of where it began really. And then my first fashion related garment that I stitched was like a handbag out of recycled jeans.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah, so that was really fun, and I'd done embroidery in that, so that kind of led me into my design specialism, which is embroidery and print is what I done in my degree.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Well, you did a degree in it as well. You must have loved it.
Yeah, so I'd done a degree in
Your nan must have been
textiles.
so proud.
Yeah, so that's kind of where it rooted from, and then I'd done my degree in textiles and then kind of evolved into fashion.
How wonderful.
And now obviously I do a lot of involvement with garment making as well.
And then how did you get involved with Pattern Preacher?
So I do production. So obviously I mentioned that Narinda's got background in manufacturing. So I work on the manufacturing side. And obviously with him being the owner of Pattern Preacher, that's kind of how it moved over.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So tell me a bit about the ethos of the company.
So obviously, like I mentioned earlier on, Pattern Preacher is very keen on sustainability and obviously building that kind of customer platform with people that are interested in making their own garments and making it unique to themselves. So like I mentioned, we do the QR scan code and we do have an online chat available as well if you've got any questions.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Because I was so excited about the fact that the back of your patterns, on each back of the patterns, there's a little tiny QR code there. So if you take your phone and scan it, that'll go straight through to your YouTube page. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So obviously, like we mentioned earlier on, there's the step-by-step instructions in the booklets. If they are difficult to follow, there's the YouTube videos. But something that I didn't say earlier on is that we have our online portal as well, which obviously then enables you to speak directly to a member of our team.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so we do have a team. So we've got Molly who works on the social media.
Hi, Molly.
Then there's Steve, and then so there is a large team that can help.
Brilliant. Oh, that's really good, because there's also sometimes you do have a question. It's nice to know you've got that backup as well if you need it. That's brilliant.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're making the Grace Pinafore dress today. They're really great, and I have to say they look so different in the different colours.
Yeah, they do. They look completely different. So this is actually made in corduroy, but we're going to be demoing in the denim.
Perfect.
The dark denim.
The denim feels so lovely, this, I have to say.
It has got a nice feel to it, and it actually works quite nicely on the machine as well.
Brilliant.
It's quite a nice fabric to stitch. I just also wanted to show this, which we didn't mention earlier, which is our glossary that we have in our, so also included in the pattern. So you've got the pattern, you've got the booklet, and then we also offer the glossary.
Right.
So this is basically a really small little book which you can have by your side, which explains the terminology. So if you're unaware of what a dart is or centre front, it explains exactly what that is for you in here. It also explains how to apply fusing. So obviously earlier on we mentioned about that. It explains here how to do that. And
because you mentioned that was on the fold as well, so having the diagrams there to be able to do it, that's fab.
Yeah, so it kind of explains here how to do it, because you'll see in the chart, in our booklet, you can see that the dotted means it's fused. So like when you go through step by steps, you can see here that the facing is a fused panel. So it kind of helps that. And then it also explains how to do French seams and what overlocker is and zigzag. And then last of all, at the back, it explains what the machine feet look like and what they do.
Wonderful. Oh, that's really good, because I know a lot of people do struggle with what the feet look like as well.
Yeah, it can get a bit confusing, so it really does explain everything in there that you need.
Perfect. What a lovely addition to have with this wonderful pattern.
Yeah.
So this is the Grace Pinafore dress that you're doing now. Earlier on, we did the...
Isabella.
I was about to call it Amelia. I'm like, no, that's not right.
Nearly.
Isabella, that's brilliant. So what are you going to show me how we're doing, what we're doing
So today we're going to do some work on the pocket.
Right.
It's quite hard to see on here, but there is actually a top stitch detail here and then stitching all around the edge. So we're going to do some work on the pocket, and then we're going to dare to do some buttonhole work as well, which is, it is fun.
We have practiced,
and obviously once you've got your foot on the machine, it does everything for you.
It does.
It's just getting started, but we'll get
We'll
there.
be fine.
We'll be okay.
We've got this.
Okay, so...
the only thing I did do between the last... Oh no, it's set back to normal. I was about to say I moved your needle slightly over, but it's now back to normal.
It's still central. Okay.
It is.
Perfect. So we're going to do a pocket. This is one I done earlier. We're going to do a new one today. So I actually quite like, I've just put a bit of top stitch there so you can see the contrast that we're using today. So
now with regards to the top stitch, we sell something called 70 weight Gutermann thread, which is designed for denim and things like that. I suppose this would be the perfect time to use that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, brilliant.
I'd say that the contrast top stitch would actually look quite nice, because it would pop out, wouldn't it?
Definitely, because even on that maroon corduroy you've got there, if you did a black top stitch on it as well, that would look really pretty, because it would match your buttons perfectly.
The buttons, exactly.
And perhaps that one doing a maroon one would even work as well.
Yeah, exactly. Top stitch. I'm a massive fan of top stitch. I like the contrasting.
Brilliant.
So obviously we can see today that we're going to be using an orange on the denim, which is again another nice combination.
It's also quite a traditional colour, isn't it, for denims, that you see all the famous brands using that orange and yellows on there.
Yeah, definitely. Or you could even just go for a simple white. A white would really pop, wouldn't it? So the first step to the pocket, you can see here that I've done, I'm just going to get rid of this one to avoid confusion. We overlock, so this opens, so this is the size of the pocket, and we overlock this edge here, which then folds into the pocket.
Do you mind just opening that again?
Yeah.
Just so that people can see on the inside. Oh, there we go.
So it's open, so that's your pocket, and then you basically fold it into the into the pocket. You're going to do that by pressing this fold line here, which I've already done.
Now, if you're a complete beginner and you didn't have an overlock, we mentioned previously in the last hour, you could just do a really big zigzag over the edge of your fabric to tie that in.
Yeah, that is
So that's
correct.
a nice way. If you haven't got an overlock, you can do this still.
Yeah, you can do zigzag or overlock, absolutely
Perfect.
fine. So we're going to start off by doing a stitch along this edge here, which is going to, like the Isabella, it kind of seals down this folded facing that we've created. So you're going to stitch on the overlock edge.
Okay.
It's just a straight stitch.
And you're stitching that from the front.
Yeah, onto the right side of the fabric.
Perfect.
Ooh, just made a funny noise then. Just going to turn it down. You've had it a little bit faster than me. So just going to run it as a straight stitch, and then, like we said earlier, don't forget to do the back tack stitch to seal it down.
Now, if you wanted to do some form of decorative stitch on that as well, I suppose you could, couldn't you?
Definitely, yeah, you could actually. If your machine offers that, then definitely that would look really nice.
This machine offers so many stitches.
Yeah,
on
this
it. It's
machine
brilliant.
is just a whole new level to me.
It's brilliant.
Okay, so we can see
I think
here.
we've got stock available.
Yeah, it is a great machine. It's easy to work with once you get the hang of it.
It is.
So I've just done a straight stitch across the front of the pocket here, which is basically sealed down the
brilliant.
overlock. So that is now, you can't lift it up anymore, it's stuck.
Perfect. Now, is any of that fused?
This isn't fused.
This isn't
at
fused at
all.
all.
No,
Brilliant.
no, this isn't fused. And then, as you can see, what I've done next is I have folded this in and I had pre-pressed it. So you're gonna, like we did with the Isabella, you're gonna fold the remaining edges in by 1 centimetre. I'm just gonna change these pins. So like we said, they need to be pinned in ideally vertically, so they're easy to remove and so the machine doesn't get stuck. Now with this pocket, I would probably recommend that you press these diagonal bits in first and then do the other edges, so it's kind of trapped inside.
Okay. You're very neat. It's very inspiring.
Thanks. Yeah, normally if I wasn't on TV, if it wasn't straight, I would be unpicking it, believe me. Okay, so it's all folded inside, and like we just did, we're going to stitch on the right side of the fabric. So we're going to do this stitch line first. So I've started off here as a guidance. So we're going to follow this line all the way around.
And that would then catch the end of your stitch, hopefully, all the way through.
Yeah, so it basically
Perfect.
just catches, you can see ever so slightly here, it's catching this down basically,
Perfect.
so you should only have a few millimetres, providing you keep straight.
Well, this is probably why I don't do clothes making, because I'm not quite sure I'd get that quite so straight.
You do quilting though, don't
I do,
you? That's
yes,
very
a lot of
precise though.
quilting.
That's very precise.
Yes, well, I've figured out a lot of ways of cheating.
You do, you come to find little
You
habits,
do.
don't you?
I find with some friendly persuasion, with a lot of steam, that works very well.
Yeah, pressing can definitely fix a garment. Like if you've made a
Definitely.
mistake, just put the iron on it and it sorts it out.
Exactly.
So I'm running the edge of the foot here along the edge of the fabric like we were earlier
perfect.
on. So you're going to stitch 1 centimetre in basically.
Brilliant.
Now when you get to so this bit you have to kind of do a little bit by eye. When you get to the corner, you're going to stop. Oh, pressing the wrong button. You're going to stop and leave your needle in the fabric.
Perfect.
Lift your foot up and you're going to turn it
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
like so. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but...
Yeah, we can see that.
And then again, you're going to stop, lift it up and turn it. Hopefully that's caught that down.
If not, I've got a Soline glue pen that would be very
I was going to
helpful
say,
for
it's
you.
flicked out ever so slightly, but it's very minimal.
We should be all right. So you said your grandmother taught you to sew.
Yeah, so...
Is she still with us?
Yeah.
Hello,
She's
Granny.
actually, she's not watching this show, but she watched the last one.
Oh, good.
But I'm sure she'll play back, so I'm sure she'll appreciate that. Thank you. She still does a little bit of sewing. She does a lot more knitting now, to be honest with you.
Oh, right.
Not so much sewing. I think she's just gone off it a little bit. So I do try and tempt her. I have said to her, do you want to try all the patterns? I have tried to tempt her. So hopefully these shows will
Oh, good.
tempt her a bit more.
Considering my granny taught me to knit.
Oh, really?
She did. But I was about 5 or 6 at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I was quite young. I think I was sewing, probably say about 4 or 5-ish. And then, because my nan lives in Lincolnshire and I'm from Portsmouth.
Oh, gosh,
so I
that's a
used
bit
to
of a
visit
drive.
her at summers, and my summers were like always spent in her sewing room or doing workshops as such.
lovely.
And then obviously going through teenage stage, you just kind of go off it a bit, don't you? Because you think it's uncool a little bit. And then I ended up doing my college course in it and my degree, and now I am where I am.
She must be so proud. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Okay, and then we just need to back tack at the top of the pocket.
Perfect. I was going to say, do we need to back tack at that point?
Yeah.
So the back tacking there is not going to show.
I have just missed that corner a little bit, but anyway.
No one would have noticed if you hadn't pointed it out.
So we can see that there is an equal distance all the way around the pocket.
Perfect.
So it's roughly about 1 centimetre.
Now you're saying that pressing would fix it. If you press that back and then just went over that seam, because I've seen how accurate you are going over, you'd catch it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, so you can see that it hasn't caught it all, that like here it's ever so slightly slipped off.
Okay.
So you could, because what you're going to do now is you're going to effectively stitch it onto this, which is going to trap it in anyway.
Fine, then you don't
It just
need to.
depends how particular you want to be. Like I said, if it was me, I would unpick it and redo it, but everyone's slightly different.
Live telly. Sorry, don't have time for that.
So now we're going to apply it to the front of the garment. So on the pattern, like the Isabella, we've given a mark on where the pocket should be positioned.
Brilliant.
So you've got these marks again, you've got dots. Again, this pattern piece is cut on the fold, as we can see, so you just would need to flip that over
On both sides.
on
to
both
make sure.
sides to make sure it matches.
Can I just ask, is the pocket the same size for each size, or does the pocket increase as you get larger with your pattern?
The pocket isn't graded, but the
Perfect.
positioning...
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, so yeah, the pocket isn't graded, it doesn't get bigger, but the positioning will change, because obviously the bigger
course,
the garment
yes,
gets,
you need to move it up, yeah.
which is why we've got the different dots here, so we can
Perfect.
see that. So I prepared this earlier on. Now, with this being the denim, I've used pins, because I just felt it was
Perfect.
easier, but you can obviously use...
If you do want, we've got a white chalk pen just there.
okay, great. I
if you
may
fancy
use that for the
With
buttonhole,
pleasure.
if that's okay. So we can see here, if we push them in, that should match where these holes are.
Oh my goodness, I see exactly what you mean
Can
now.
we see that on the camera?
Do you want to move it a little bit down? There we go.
There we go.
So where you've got your red, green and yellow pins, those are the holes where your pocket should line up.
Yeah, so if we put that in place here,
Oh, brilliant.
that should sit on quite nicely. I'm just going to trim those threads because they're a little bit
Unruly.
in the way.
We have that same one in blue, in grey. It's a lovely little pair of scissors, those.
Yeah, the snips are really good, aren't they? So that should just sit on there like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pin, again, that into place. Because we're now going to do, like we did before, a 2mm stitch to apply the pocket onto the
Perfect.
front panel.
Now at this point, you're using a jeans needle?
A jeans needle.
Would you be using a thicker needle?
This needle, we're actually using the same one as before, aren't we?
Perfect.
But we should have changed that. Yeah, I would recommend using a slightly thicker needle.
That's right.
It just helps with stitching, doesn't it? Especially if you're going to use a top stitch thread. Obviously, that's a lot thicker.
I hope you'll all forgive us. We don't quite have time to change the needle on it, so please forgive the stitch quality of the next section. I suppose as well it depends what fabric you're using too. So if you're using a thicker fabric,
Yeah.
you'd be using a bigger needle anyway.
I just try and make sure there's at least one pin on each edge.
Perfect.
So we can take these out now where we've marked it, because otherwise they're going to get in the way.
I suppose you don't need the markers anymore because it's all pinned in.
Yeah, once you're happy with where it's positioned, you can remove them.
Now, last week when you were on, you had the sienna trousers. These are beautiful.
The trousers, they are really
They are
flattering.
really pretty.
Yeah, they are really nice because they fit on your waist quite tightly and then they flare out.
They're beautiful.
So I think we also spoke about you could make them into culottes, so you could shorten them and make
Oh,
them as like a
fab.
culotte style as well.
What a good idea.
Yeah.
So that was the show. It was on Monday, wasn't it?
Last Monday.
Last
yeah.
Monday, yeah. So if you go onto the YouTube channel, you can go look at our show last Monday. I can't remember what the date was. You can pop on and go and have a look at the demonstration on the sienna trousers as well. Another really lovely beginner's pattern there. They're very pretty.
Yeah, they're really flattering.
So how many patterns have you got in your range?
So at the moment we've got 6.
Brilliant.
And
That's a nice good size as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so 6 patterns. I think we've got the Olivia, which is a tea dress. Yeah, so we've got a Gabby, which is the off the shoulder, and then Olivia, which is a tea dress. Then we've got the Isabella, which we've done trouser style. We've got a jacket, and then we've got the Pinafore. So we've tried to cover a range of all kind of.
But it's
styles.
also a nice little taster for everybody that if something doesn't appeal to them, like the trousers, this would, or the Isabella dress, that was beautiful this morning as well. So it's a nice little addition to be able to put those on.
Definitely, it just depends on what you're looking for, really, because you could even do the Eloise jacket with the trousers. Which is a nice combination as well. It just depends on what you're looking for.
Wonderful. Yeah. Now, if you want to search these on the website, I think the easiest way of doing it is if you go into our search bar and just type in preacher. That's probably the most defining word, and you'll have all the patterns that we've got in stock left of the Pattern Preacher patterns on there. So do check out the website. These are fabulous.
So with this being a top stitch, you may want to go a little bit slower. So you can feel now that this is a bit thick.
A little bit thicker,
yeah. So
you can hear the machines having a bit of a glug.
A little bit of a struggle.
A little bit of a gluggy way.
Lagging a little bit.
A little bit.
Take that pin out. Ooh, it's getting a bit stuck.
That looks really good.
The contrast stitch looks lovely, doesn't it?
Beautiful.
I like it.
But I think as well, it's one of those times you can use these wonderful contrast colours that we haven't actually all used before.
It depends how confident you are as well. Like, obviously with it being contrast, it is going to be that lot more obvious if it's not so straight.
Of course.
But if you practice, then you should, I'd always say practice on a scrap bit before you do the real thing.
Very much so. Well, we did.
Yeah. So I'm just doing the same as what I did before, obviously when I get to the corner, lifting the foot but keeping the needle in the fabric.
So the Grace pattern is proving very, very popular this morning. Loving that. And I love the fact that you go from size 6 all the way to size 20. That's great. And it's even more popular than the Isabella was.
Oh, really?
It's very interesting to see how patterns go. But this is such a lovely design. And I think as well, coming into winter, having something that's made with a slightly thicker fabric as well would be quite good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I feel like I'm distracting you.
No, it's okay. I'm just really concentrating on this bit, just because.
Sorry, I'll stop talking to you while you're
I've got to a wonky bit, and I'm trying to make it not look so wonky.
I think the closer your face goes to the machine, I'll shush.
No, it's okay. Sorry.
Don't be sorry at all. There is not a single sewer out there that's not looking at you going, yep, I do the same thing. Because we all, the minute you're concentrating, you get so close to the machine. It's wonderful.
I know.
Oh, that looks lovely.
It looks really nice with the contrast, doesn't it? So take those pins out, and then
wonderful.
You've got your
pocket all set up.
Better to turn it this way or the other way. Then
good.
I've put my hand in. So obviously you're not really going to put your hand in this pocket. It's more like to put your phone in or your keys or something like that. But you've also got the smaller pockets on the back, which are optional again. You don't have to put them on, which you can do. These are a smaller pocket. It's exactly the same process with how you make it, but they're just a little bit smaller.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so there's those as well. They're all
so
optional.
I suppose as well, you could option, if you didn't want to put those on, you could leave them off if you wanted to as well.
Yeah, you don't have to put them on, or you may want to put the smaller one on here. You may not want it to. I think the bigger one looks better because we've made it to suit that, to suit the size of the dress.
But that's so great about your patterns though, is that they are universal. You can adjust them if you want to as well. Again, now if you wanted to make this a bit longer, as you did with the Isabella dress, you could then just add on the extra. Just remember to take into account the extra hemage.
Yeah, so the hem turn, I believe, let me just double check, I think it's the same as the Isabella. Yeah, so you've got a 1 centimetre turn and then a 2 centimetre turn, and then you stitch it down to trap that 1 centimetre inside. So yeah, you can add the length on as long as you just remember it's going to fold in for your hem. Yeah. So that is the pocket.
That's brilliant.
That is how simple it is. It's actually quite fun as well. So next, I was thinking we could do the buttonhole,
All
which is
over
what
it.
this little pin
We
indicates.
can do that. So that pin that you've put in as well, that's the same markings that you've had from the pattern that you marked out with the pins to line the pocket up.
Yeah, so the buttonhole placement is on there. It's on the facing piece though, not on the front piece.
Okay.
But obviously each machine is different. So I would always suggest what we've obviously done this morning is we've tested it here, and I've measured that this morning, and I can see that that's 3 centimetres. A good thing to do, see that? A good thing to do is watch where the needle and where the buttonhole starts. So like I saw that it started at the circular part of the buttonhole.
Right.
So you know that you need to add 3 centimetres going backwards because the machine moves backwards like that. So that's 3 centimetres, and then I've put the pin in here which indicates 3 centimetres.
Oh, brilliant.
I'm just going to use that chalk.
Of course, so if you go there, I can't help you unfortunately, there you go. If you go one back further, there's one that's already sharpened up, because our chalk pens are amazing, and it's got that little plastic lid on it as well.
Oh, great, okay.
Which then doesn't mean it's damaged, it doesn't get damaged in anything.
So I'm just going to mark at the bottom here where I want the buttonhole to start. So we can see there.
Might do a line.
Should I draw a line, do you think? Yeah? Let me
It'll
get a
come
ruler. Have we got a ruler anywhere?
Oh! The quilting friends
Can I
ruler.
use
So
that one?
if you squish that, then you can be. Then I've anti-bac now as well. So if you can do that, then you'll be able to do that.
Just make sure they're dry before I touch anything, because otherwise.
A friend of mine had a pearl ring on this weekend, and she put the antibacterial, and then realised the alcohol can damage the pearl, and it's her engagement ring.
Oh, don't tell
So
me that.
was
I'm wearing a fancy ring
that
today.
very fancy ring there. But I think it's just with pearls. Alcohols don't react well with pearl.
Yeah, because it's a natural pearl, isn't it?
But that is such a lovely little ruler, that one.
So we're going to do 3 centimetres. Yes, we're going to draw it like that. Now, obviously, the chalk does come off if you clean it.
Of course.
And disappearing pen also comes off if you clean it as well.
Perfect.
So,
Thank you very much.
Perfect. So now we just need to set the machine up for the buttonhole. So
Yes.
I may need a bit of help if that's
Absolutely.
okay.
So you've
So
got
just
your
put
little
the-
funny square triangular.
Yeah, so I can put the fit on. So you're just going to unscrew it here.
Perfect.
Ooh.
So all we're doing is we're unscrewing the side of the machine to take the actual ankle off for the normal F foot that we're using. Now I think most people do have a buttonhole machine function. Everyone is different on that. So now we're going to take the...
And just before we apply it on, I just wanted to explain the button
Please.
bit, if that's okay. So to ensure that you've got the right size buttonhole for your button, it should sit in like so. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, yeah?
Perfect.
So it should sit in quite nicely. You pop that button in your buttonhole part machine at the back
A little
here.
bit closer to yourself. There
Just
you
here,
go.
like so.
Perfect.
So you're going to put it in there, and then you can adjust this plastic to the size that you want it. And that will basically do the buttonhole to this button.
Perfect.
So then we're going to put the...
Brilliant.
It looks like a scary. It looks a scary part to the machine, but like I said earlier on, once you've
Once you've done it 2 or 3 times, you'll be an absolute pro on it.
yeah.
You know what we'll probably do, Jemma, is we'll actually take this as a how-to for the buttonhole thing. We've got a lovely how-to section on our YouTube page.
Oh, great.
So we might actually just take this and put it as a how-to thing for you.
Yeah, no worries. So you're just going to tighten that with either a screwdriver or this little Allen key mini thing, yeah, flat screwdriver. And then could you please remind me how I do the setting?
So you see the little arrow pointing that one there? Just
Yeah.
keep pressing that. And if you lift the lid of the machine, you'll see that you've got the buttonholes there.
Yeah, so we want ideally...
I think you said number 6.
Number 6, because it's got the circle bit at the end.
Perfect. So
Then click number 6.
perfect. Now all of these, who did you say put it on the Sewing Street page? Alan. Say that we've got it in every single one of your manuals. We'll have the details on how to do this as well. Don't be scared of buttonholes. They're really easy to do. And I was quite shocked how easy it was to do. So do have a little play with it. It's really good fun.
The machine does it all for you, literally. It's
does.
really good. So where that dot is that we've drawn is where I would suggest you get your needle in line within the machine.
You have to lower the thing from the top.
This one?
No, where your foot is. If you put your finger down, remember the side, but you had to lower that piece of the
Oh, yeah,
machine.
of course. Sorry, well done. Thank you. So
That's all
at
right.
the back of here, there is a little stopper, and that basically just stops the machine. I don't know if it's better to show this way. It helps it move like this, and it knows when to
Perfect.
stop, basically. So
See,
on
we're a
this-
good team.
We
We're
are.
making this
We're
work.
the dream team. So there's 2 metal plates here. One should sit on this particular machine. My machine's not like this. One should sit flat where the bobbin case is, and then this one will naturally be raised. So just make sure your fabric sits between the 2 metal plates. And then I'm hoping that's going to be okay. So then we drop it, and then we're going to press play.
Yep.
We're going to go for it.
I'm crossing my fingers.
Hopefully it works.
So it looks like it's working.
Yeah. So you don't
So
really
you
need
don't
to
need to
hold
hold
it or
anything, do
anything,
you?
but I am just nervously holding it whilst I watch.
Don't worry, everybody would be doing the same thing.
You may need to guide it slightly, but
Well, it is a reasonably heavy piece of fabric as well, so it's good to just...
yeah.
Now this one, we're just using 100% Gutermann, like we had in our lovely early bird. We haven't added anything extra. This is normal 50 weight Gutermann, but you can use any of the threads that you like. A good one to use would be the Gutermann 70 weight that we have got in stock. So if you just search the website Gutermann and then 70, that will pop up as well, so you can have a look at that.
Almost there.
Oh, there we go. You can see we're actually doing that now.
Great.
Might be a little bit upside down, but we're doing the very best that we can.
Yeah, so it does like a single stitch, and then it goes all the way around and almost does like a satin stitch, so it makes it really tight.
Very clever. And the great thing is, the machine, if I'm not mistaken now, cuts the... oh, no, it doesn't. So you just press the cut.
Yeah, so if we press cut. And
Brilliant.
there we go. There is our buttonhole.
Now, has that gone over our chalk line where it was
It
meant to?
actually has. We've done it
Brilliant.
perfectly, which is really good.
A little bit closer to you. Perfect.
So
we're going to just play with the overhead. Now, you need a nice tight pair of sharp scissors.
yes, so some nice snips.
So we've got those. We've got the grey pair, which are from Janome.
Oh, okay.
So you can check
I'm
those
not
out
sure
on the
where these are
website
from.
as well.
So
I think it is Janome as well.
Yeah, possibly. It doesn't actually say anything. So then you need to obviously cut this now in order to be able to get your button to go inside. So you're just going to fold it in half. Like so, and then in between the 2 stitch lines, you're going to snip that, where that navy bit is in the middle here, we're going to snip that like
Oh my goodness.
so.
See, now that's where I would be most terrified.
And there we go.
Oh, wow.
You may want to sort of clean it inside, so you haven't got this
So how
denim
would you
bit
do that?
here. You would...
You've got about 10 minutes left. So.
Okay, great. So you would basically fold it over and just snip away really tightly.
wow.
But just don't catch the stitch that we've just done, because if you do... I mean, normally more so where the circle bit is, you can see there's more denim
More
to get
there.
rid of here, so...
Can you move it a little bit to your right?
This
there we
way?
go. Perfect. So if you just hang on 2 seconds. There we go. So if you can go now,
So you're
that'd be
going to
awesome.
snip...
But the great thing is, this is really good skills that you can learn. And once you've learnt this, you feel then much more confident doing the next time.
Yeah.
We've had a message in from Sarah for Jemma. Morning, Sarah. How are you? She's loving your buttonhole demo. And a huge thumbs up.
Oh, great.
You did do very well. And we are going to take that out as a make your own buttonhole.
With thanks to yourself. I wouldn't have managed the settings without you. So that is the buttonhole.
Now, are you making 2 of these?
Yeah.
Do you want to do
we
the other
wanna
one as
another
well?
Have we got time?
You
Okay,
kids?
great. Let me get the
Got
chalk
about
again.
10 minutes
then.
left, is that right? Perfect.
Did I put the chalk back
Nope.
in here? I didn't.
Is it under the counter?
No. What have I done with it?
You can use the silver one if you like. There's a silver one
Why
just
not?
there. I know. Oh, yeah,
This
you
one.
might have put it back. There it is. It's the one leaning.
This
There we
one.
go.
I thought I was going insane then. Okay, so...
You did that very quickly. I didn't even see you go over there.
So if we
Now, I
turn-
haven't touched the quilting ruler, so you can grab that again.
Okay, thank you. So, now the trick is we need to get it in line with this one.
So if you take your tape measure
Yeah.
and line it across this way, that should work. Yep, lining it up with that.
And then if we do a little... Well, first of all, what I would recommend is let's measure the distance from this edge. So that's
clever.
3 centimetres. And just do a little dot.
Perfect.
And then we want to align it with that.
Now, if your head could go a little bit
Sorry.
back. There
Sorry.
you go. Your hair looks fabulous from the top, by the way.
So there we go. So then we're going to draw a straight line of 3 centimetres.
You can keep the ruler by you. So by my eye, that looks very close.
There we go.
So now we've already got the machine set up for the
double-check.
buttonhole, haven't we?
3. Yeah, so we can basically go. Go
Perfect.
for it.
Now this is going to be the other way round, isn't it?
So, no, we're basically just going to do it. Oh yeah, how are we going to do that actually?
I think you'll be all right with that. Oh, you turn it upside down.
And then start it further
No, no.
back.
Flop it that way.
Oh, this way.
That way.
Great.
So we've marked it from the wrong side.
Okay.
Of course we have.
Of course. Let's just put a pin through.
Put a pin through and you can
And
mark
then we
that
can
up
mark
perfectly.
it through. There we go. We'll do it again. Why
Perfect.
not?
You can hang on to that.
Thank you. Is my head okay?
Nope, you're all good. That's worked out perfectly then.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
And that's the great thing with the buttonholes, is because they're the same front and back,
yeah.
it'll work out perfectly.
So we're going to do it this way. So find the end of the line, drop the foot.
So just wait 1 minute. Oh, there you go. You're all good.
Yeah, and then I will press play.
Press play.
And we just wait for the machine to work its magic, basically.
Perfect.
Now the button that we showed, obviously, is up to whether they would like to get contrast ones or matching ones, but this stitches onto the strap. So it doesn't obviously stitch onto this, it stitches onto the strap so then it can feed through.
Perfect.
It is very fascinating.
It's like an embroidery machine that's stitching out. You
Yeah.
can't stop watching it. I've got a massive long arm quilter which is 5 metres by 2 metres.
Yeah.
And the number of times I just sat there and found myself daydreaming as it's stitching all these spirals and everything out.
And then you
It's
have to get
brilliant.
back into the zone of what you're meant to be doing.
No, it is watching the machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
The minute you stop looking at it, she puts her megabytes up and goes, nope, I'm not doing it.
And then cut the thread.
Wonderful.
And yeah, you're right. So even on the wrong side, just make sure your bobbin is obviously the same
same
thread.
colour, yes.
But you can't even tell that we stitched it upside down. It looks exactly the same. So let's just snip it quickly.
Now this is the bit that freaked me out. So all you're doing is you're folding those two together.
Yeah. And then you're going to cut.
So now are you feeling where those stitches are on top of each other?
Yeah, like roughly you can
Oh, there
see
we
there
go.
that they kind of match if you do it. Because I'm doing it by eye, but obviously if the buttonhole's 3 centimetres, you roughly need to just make sure you got 1.5 here and 1.5 here,
Perfect.
roughly. And then you're just going to cut it. Like that. As easy as that.
Brilliant. That's fabulous. Now we've got 5 minutes left. Can you show us then how you would put the button on the other side?
Yeah, I've not made
if
a
you-
strap, but what I can do is I can sew it on a scrap bit and we
Oh,
can
perfect.
do it like that. Is
That'd be
that okay?
great, if you don't mind. It's just I know some people haven't done
Yeah,
buttons
that's
like this
fine.
before. Maybe
So I
it's-
brought some needle and thread with me.
Brilliant.
Nice and prepared.
Look at you.
You just never know how long things are going to take, do you? So you just
No.
always have a backup plan. So it's up to you if you want to do single thread, double thread. I think we'll just do single.
Perfect.
Now with the button, it's entirely optional how you want to do it, but you can either sew it across the holes or sew it, so you can either sew it diagonally or vertically. Do you know what I mean? I didn't explain that
Do
very
it in
well.
a square or as a cross.
Yeah, that was a better explanation. Now on the pattern piece, I've not got it with me. It will show you on there where to mark the button, but in this instance, we're just going to basically do it by eye. So you can just, like we did earlier, put a little mark where you want it to go. Tie a knot.
So the strap size, obviously the pattern gives you an idea for a strap size. If somebody wanted to make it thicker,
Yeah.
that would be easily done?
Yeah, so on this strap, it's quite, do you mean the width, sorry? Did you mean the width or the length of the strap? Yeah, you can make it wide if you want to. If you do, it'll be easy to turn it inside out. But as you can see in here, we've actually put 2 buttons, so you can adjust the length if you want to.
Okay.
But we're just going to do one today. So on this one, we've done the shorter length.
Because as well, I think a lot of ladies prefer to be able to have something longer or shorter, depending.
Yeah, some people like to
sizes.
just do one side, don't they, like this?
Yes.
Like if you've got a top on underneath, that can look quite fashionable.
Mm.
Okay, so I've tied a knot, and we're going to basically, where the hole is, where you want your button, you're going to bring the needle through. Maybe I shouldn't have used navy because I'm not sure if you can see it very well.
If you did it on the back.
Yeah, let's do that.
We'll just guess where it was.
So bring your needle through. Let me see that okay. Should I come over a little bit?
Perfect. You're a pro at this.
Just got to be aware of the cameras, haven't you?
I've still not got it right.
I'm going to do crisscross,
I
because
think
why
crisscross
not?
looks really good.
Yeah.
I love the way I make it sound as I'm authoritative in this and I've ever put a button on in
And
my
you're
whole life.
fully aware of how to do buttons.
What? I have many, many buttons, but I have never actually done them. We've had a message in from Christine. Hi, Christine. She's loving watching demos to Jemma today.
Great.
Oh, that's such a great idea. We've had a message in from Penny, and Penny says it's such a great idea for a new mum as well, because that would be a really good idea. Yes, what a wonderful idea.
Oh, great. So I've done 3 stitches across. I will do 3 the other way, but it just depends how strong you want it. You can give it a bit of a tug and you can feel how tight it is.
Okay. You would do 3 and 3?
Yeah, I'm going to do 3 and 3, but again, it depends. If you're going to use a thicker top stitch thread, like on your top stitch, it's probably better to use it for your buttons because it will be stronger to, obviously, for the buttons. There is no wrong and right on how many stitches you have to do. It's just whatever you feel is best. The technique is trying to find the needle to go through the hole. One more stitch.
You're very neat at that.
And then you just knot it in the back.
Oh, that's very neat.
There we go. So then it should feed through like so. This is where the button falls off. I'm joking.
Don't be so defeatist. I wouldn't.
There we go. So that is
brilliant.
what it would look like when it's finished. You've got a little bit of space either side there.
Fantastic. What a lovely, lovely pattern.
Yeah,
really, really good. And everybody's agreeing this is the favourite of the day at the moment.
Oh, great. That's
Things
good.
change throughout the day,
Yeah.
but right now this is definitely winning.
Good, good. Yeah, so obviously with, although it's a beginner, I'd probably say the pocket, obviously you've got a lot of detail there. Buttonhole, it looks scary, but as we've just shown, it's really not.
easy. But even your top stitching, it's not difficult. Just take your time, slow down, make sure you're going straight and catching all
and just
the
become
fabric.
familiar with your foot. Like that, the first thing I done when I came in this morning is I just wanted to make sure I was aware of, you know, where to line it up. Internally, it is all done by French seams, this one.
Perfect.
So that gives it a bit of a challenge, but like we've shown, it explains in the booklet how to do that.
Brilliant.
And simple hem turn, so overall it's not too difficult.
Well, you're very much a complete natural, in my opinion. You've done
thank you
really,
very
really well.
much.
When are we seeing you next?
I'm not sure yet at the moment. I'll have to check the schedule because I'm not 100% sure when it will be, but hopefully soon.
Somebody will let you know.
Yeah, someone will let me know where I've got to be.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. It's such a great demo.
Thank you for
really
having me.
enjoyed it.
Thank you.
And thank you for our button demo. That's probably going to go on the website now and how to put a button in.
Thank you for your help today. Cheers.
Absolute pleasure. It was lovely meeting you.
Thank you.
We're just going to remind you how it is that you can buy, and we'll be right back.
Shopping with us couldn't be easier. If you want to shop online, then you can head to our website, www.sewingstreet.com. It will redirect you to our sister channel Jewellery Makers landing page. Don't worry, you haven't gone to the wrong place. We're simply using their website temporarily while we're building our own web shop. Scroll down past the Watch Live part and you'll see all of the products that you will have seen on air on today's live show. You can also shop our catalogue by clicking a category, clicking a product to view closer, and adding it to your basket. Once you're ready to check out, you will need to create an account, which is absolutely free to do so, but it will mean that you can check out on as many orders as you want throughout the day with still only paying one postage and packaging. If you'd prefer to speak to somebody in our UK-based customer service team, then you can do so via the free telephone line number 0800 001 4433. They will not only help you create an account, but will also help you with any of your online shopping.
Thank you so much, Jemma. Such a great demo. We were doing the Grace Pinafore dress today in this hour. Really, really popular in this hour. Absolutely gorgeous dress. Really pretty. And we can show you really, really pretty, the Grace Pinafore dress there. You can see in that gorgeous maroon. And we've got these in two different colorways here. We've got this in the black corduroy just over here, which is very, very pretty. And then we've got this in the patterns, the one that the pattern was in this gorgeous burgundy. Such a lovely colorway. We were using a denim to show, to do the demo. We started doing the demo with this wonderful dark, medium to heavyweight cotton denim. And it is 100% cotton denim as well. This is the most popular fabric, and this is the most popular pattern we've had in today. This is $4.99 for a half metre of this. Up to a size 20, you will need 2 meters of this. Just checking. Yep, all the way. It's bigger than a size 12. Size 12. Is this one? Yes. So size 12, you'll need 1.5 meters. Anything larger than a size 12, you will need 2 meters of this fabric. We sell everything in half-meter increments, so you'll need 4 units of that if you wanted to make the pinafore dress out of that fabric. That's the dark denim. Then we've got the medium denim. This is such a lovely colorway as well. But the price points for these real denim is absolutely brilliant. So this one is $4.99 for a half meter there. This is the medium to heavyweight washed cotton denim. Half meter there, £4.99. Such a great price that. Next we have our light medium to heavyweight denim. Again, 100% denim, 100% cotton. And it's a beautiful, beautiful colourway, this. Half metre of that for $4.99. Now, some denims that you do buy do have a stretch in. This one doesn't. This is a proper denim. So you don't have to worry about any form of stretching on that as well. Really lovely quality. Now, the pattern we had in our first hour today was the Isabella dress. And this has proved really popular as well. And you can tell just how beautiful that dress is, and that wonderful pocket detail is so good. And of course we've got the back of the pattern as well, which tells you exactly what size. This sizing over here has got your bust, waist and hip. You'll then be able to correspond that up to whatever size you are along the top here, and then whatever amount of fabric you need, whether it's 45 inch or 60 inches on the back of the pattern as well. If you type in Isabella on the website, you'll be able to get the sizings of the fabrics that you need for that. We had some fabulous fabrics at 8 o'clock with that, so we've got loads of that. So go and have a little look and see on the website for the fabrics of those. Now remember, each one of these patterns come with that fabulous glossary that Jemma was talking to us about, with a compendium of all the different terminologies they used and top tips on how to do it. So definitely an additional extra with it. So you've got the pattern, you've got that wonderful glossary of terms, you've got the whole big pattern as well, and then on the back of each pattern you've got this wonderful little QR code, and each one of those QR codes will then take you to the YouTube video affiliated with that. And also within the product as well, you've got access to the online chat group if you've got any questions as well, so you can ask questions. I think the lady's name was Molly that deals with that. You can ask Molly any questions that you're having about the pattern as well, which is a nice additional support feature if you do need that. So such a great hour. Now, we've all spoken quite a lot about our early bird today. Now, if any of you had this in your basket, check out now. We have less than 20 of these available. What we're getting today is 12 Gutermann threads, different colours, all 100% polyester, all 100 metres, 50 weight Gutermann polyester. Now, if we're just looking at that, you're buying the Gutermann and you're getting a free gift, that is going to be £1.49 per spool, and you're getting these gifts for free. If we're working it out the other way, that we're taking the price of the needles and the pins off the price that you're paying for the entire pack. These are a price comparison. We have that available for you as well. That's an Amazon price comparison for the Schmetz needles. You're getting 10 70-10s, 10 80-12s, 2 90-14s. And on Amazon, you're getting those for £5.80 for that box of needles. Also on Amazon, you've got these 40 pearl-headed prim pins. Those are £3.07 on Amazon at the moment. So that's going to... So these are just an example of what you could pay for it. And that's £3.07 there. And so if you take the price of the pins and you take the price of the needles off the price of the early bird, then if you're effectively buying these, the cost of the spools are coming down to 76p per spool. All of these threads are really, really fabulous, really great quality. I adore Gutermann thread. It's all 100% polyester. So for me, when I use them, I know I've got that little bit of an extra strength on it. A little bit of an extra strength on it. You can see as you tug on it, the fabric's not going to give way, the thread's not going to give way. And each one of these Gutermann threads, if you do hand sewing, if you take that off, you've got this wonderful little hole in the bottom there which you can store all of your needles. Just don't pierce the paper on the bottom, and you can store all your needles in there and pop that on the top, and you've got everything nice and securely in there. That's the same for every single Gutermann spool you ever buy. It's a nice little way of you being able to store your needles in there. And all of these are available today, £17.99 for these early bird, while stocks last. So please make sure that you do check these out. Now, the one product that I was showing you earlier and using, and that Jemma was using in this hour, is this fabulous, I love my quilting frames ruler by Creative Grids. We're bringing this back in at 11 o'clock after the break. Such a lovely ruler, so do hang about for that as well. We've got a fabulous Creative Grids hour ahead of us with some fabulous fabrics. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Debbie Shaw from Sewing Street, and these are my 5 top tips for successful sewing. So, number 1, always use a good quality thread. A good quality thread will keep your seams stronger and also help to prevent lint building up inside your sewing machine. Tip number 2, if your project isn't going quite according to plan, put it down, walk away from it, come back again the next day, and you'll probably find that things don't seem half as bad as they did. My tip number 3, never throw away your sewing machine manual, always keep it to hand, because you're going to find hints and tips, techniques and troubleshooting in that manual. You'll miss it if you lose it. My tip number 4 is to read your pattern instructions before you even cut out your fabric. Different manufacturers of patterns will give you different instructions, different ways of constructing your garments and different seam allowances. So to have a successful garment, you need to follow the instructions precisely. And then tip number 5 is don't give up. Every professional sewer sewed their first seam. Every professional quilter quilted their first quilt. Every professional quilter sewed their first line of wonky stitches and had to get out the quick unpick. That's no different to you. So I hope you find these useful. If you want more hints and tips, then why not go to Sewing Street on channel 74 on Freeview, on Sky 670, and of course we have a YouTube channel where you can catch up on previous demonstrations. We'll see you soon.
Hi, I'm Rosie Wells.
My name's Poppy and I'm a nutritional therapist.
Hi, I'm Ruth Lynette and I can't wait to join you all on the brand new Gemporia Lifestyle channel.
If you're a fan of primal living, you're going to adore what's around the corner.
What is lifestyle? Lifestyle is healthy habits.
Feeling good, it's about looking great.
Making sure that we're taking good care of ourselves inside.
And it's about the life that you lead and the home that you live in,
all of this is why I'm so excited.
We've got the most wonderful team.
Homeware deals and primal deals under one roof on one channel.
I can't wait to share this brand new channel with you. So we'll see you soon on Gemporia Lifestyle.
Gemporia Lifestyle, coming soon to Freeview Channel 74 and gemporia.com.
Hello, I'm Kerry from Living in Loveliness and I'm delighted to be part of the Sewing Street team. I'm based in Wolverhampton and I absolutely love working with fabulous fabrics. In particular, I love working with fat quarters and showing you how to get the most from your scraps. I love bringing communities of sewists together and encouraging people to sew for greater causes. Most recently, we have been sewing for our NHS and key workers. I look forward to bringing you hints, tips and techniques. I'll see you soon.
Would you like to take part in our weekly competition? If you do, then all you have to do is head to the Sewing Street fan page group on Facebook. Post your picture of your make. Myself, Debbie Shaw and John Cole Morgan love looking at all of your makes every week. We pick our favourite and announce the winner every Friday live on the show. Happy sewing and good luck.
Hello everyone, I'm Delphine Brooks. It's so great to be here and part of the Sewing Street family. I'm local, I'm only down the road in Warwickshire. I started sewing many years ago when I was very young, doing lots of art and painting, and eventually I went into textiles and I really enjoyed doing the two together. I then had a bit of a break. Something you don't know about me maybe is that I spent many years in the Royal Air Force and eventually in the police as well. And then I went full circle and I've come back to my happy place of sewing, and which I really enjoy. My best sewing tip is measure twice and cut once. I have chipped up a couple of times by not measuring properly, and I do always regret it. So now I always measure twice, cut once. Anyway, I really hope to be with you again soon, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.
Hello, welcome back. I'm John Cole Morgan and we have got a fabulous tools hour ahead of you here. Now, during the last couple of hours of demos, you would have seen myself and Jemma have been using this fabulous I Love Quilting Friends ruler, and I am absolutely besotted with it. Let me show you why I love this ruler. Now, many of you who have quilting rulers, some of you do, some of you don't, but some people have got problems with working out how to do 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, 1/2 an inch, and all of that. This is the most perfect ruler to be able to explain this to you. Now, the very first thing to explain to you is the creative grids have always had, let me show you this side first, they've got, you can see this side is what a normal ruler would look like. You've got no interference. That's just a normal straight ruler that will move around your fabric as you like. But on this side, you can tell you've got these non-slip grip dots, but instead of being circular, these are in these beautiful, beautiful purple pink hearts. So when you're trying to move that on fabric or paper, you can see that it doesn't, because you've got these wonderful grip dots there. Now, most rulers are like this. So you'll see that this line here is your half line. So that's all easy to tell. This is your 1/4 line. But a lot of patterns call for a lot more of 1/4 inches and 1/8 of an inches. So what they've done is they've taken from 3 to 6 over here and they've marked the grid of the 1/4 inches. So you'll see that's a 1/4 inch, that's 1/4 inch, that's 1/4 inch, and all the way along. And then over here, because we also use an 1/8 of an inch, they've marked the 1/8 of an inch line as well. This is the only Creative Grids ruler that has ever done this, and I think it is absolutely genius, and I think it's such a nice way of being able to do it, because most of the cutting sizes that we do for quilting are either a 1/2 inch, 1/4 of an inch, or an 1/8 of an inch. And if you do get a terrifying pattern that is marked with a 1/16 of an inch, you can then get that as the halfway mark between your 1/8 of an inches. But don't worry, if somebody asks you for a 1/16 of an inch, just say no. Just say no, it's easier. But the great thing with this ruler is not only have you got these wonderful dimensions on it, and not only is it so pretty to look at, it's also got that non-slip grip dottage on it, and it is just such a nice size. The fact that this is 6 inches by 2.5, I love the fact that it's 2.5 inches, because all of the cutting that we do with any form of jelly roll or any form of design roll, they're all 2.5 inches. So if you're wanting to cut pieces of fabric 2.5 inches wide, you don't have to measure anything. You just take the ruler, put it on your fabric, and you go all the way along and you cut it along. It's such a fabulous, fabulous ruler. How many? Oh my goodness. So this is brand new to us today. We've not had them on before. We now have less than 20 of them. The price point itself, $15.99, it is such a good price point because this is one of these rulers, less than 10. Wow, we now have less than 10. So you are absolutely seeing what I mean about them. Getting a good 2.5 inch ruler. When I do foundation paper piecing, I always reach my 2.5 inch ruler. And what I love about this as well, if you are going to do foundation paper piecing with it, this line along here is marked at 1/4 inch. You need to then, whenever you're doing foundation paper piecing, if this is your paper, you line your ruler up. You can see that 1/4 inch line. You line that up to the edge. You've got your excess fabric over here. You cut along there. You've then got the perfect ruler for foundation. It's gone. Almost sold out on this. So please, if you are interested, there are less than 10 of these now. Pop it in your basket and check out immediately. We don't want you to lose out. But for foundation paper piecing, I always reach my 2.5 inch ruler. It's this size. I line it up and I can trim off any edge I like with it. It is such a fabulous ruler. There are now 5 left of these and 4 of them are in baskets. So please check out. We will let you know as we're going, but remember to check out as you go. If you haven't checked out, you aren't going to have the ruler for yourself yet. But now I am so excited. I'm just going to have to do a bit of... I'll show you these first and I'll tell you the backstory. Now this is 1/2 meter of PU, but not just any PU. It's got glitter in it. This is the silver glitter panel, and it's got the most gorgeous, gorgeous colorway in it. So if I pop my little white piece of paper back here, you'll be able to see that wonderful silver glitter. That wonderful silver glitter as you go. You can see that wonderful glitter there. But the great thing with this PU is that it's absolutely easy to use, and many people don't quite know what to do with it. So I'm really excited. They've let me loose on it, and I can show you a nice little demo. Now, a really good tip, which was it Debbie who said that? I think it was. Debbie said a really good tip with this. When you get it, it's going to come to you like this. Make sure you just lay it out, hairdryer, softens it out, or pop it in a room with a shower and it'll pop out as well, or just pop it in the sun and it'll nice flatten out. So that was the silver colorway. We've also got our wonderful rainbow glitter colorway as well. But now this is extra wide, and it's only $2.99 for 1/2 meter. But it's one of those fabrics as well that people have never had a go with. And you can see, just if I move that like that, you can see all that glitter as it shines all the way along. It's one of those fabrics that's really good to be able to have and have a play with. You always see these terribly fashionable raincoats and umbrellas and things with fabric like this, and it's just so much fun. Now, I'm going to show you a trick with how to do this. Now, am I going to do it with rainbow or am I going to do it with silver? I'm going to do it with silver. There we go. So, I have a client that brought in some blocks to me this week. Now, her blocks are 17.5 inches. And we've been looking for a box to put them in because my friend has been making these blocks for months. They've been lying all around the house, and you know what it's like. You leave a block, you move it, there's fraying on the edges, it's annoying, you can't get it done. Anytime you move it or touch it, you end up with a bit of a problem. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you a really quick, easy way of using this PU to make a quilting block bag, if you like, really, really quickly and very, very easily. And all I'm doing is I'm taking, and literally this is how you're going to get it. It's a 1/2 meter. You would take the time to get the creases out. Unfortunately, I don't have a hairdryer to hand. And all I'm doing is I'm just pressing this down, and I'm getting a nice little corner edge over here and lining it up. Now, I'm going to show you a smaller version of this because this is not my idea, it's Debbie's. Debbie made this fabulous little pouch. And this was perfect because we had those the Christmas badges. So whenever we get little badges or messages back and forth for the one producer, they just leave it on the side and they're all available in there to go on to the next one. It's genius. And I then looked at my friend's blocks this week and thought, how are we going to make you a 16.5-inch square bag to put your blocks in to keep them safe and stop them fraying? You see what I'm going to do, don't you? Now, all I've done is folded it. I'm now taking this is a normal stitch. I have not increased my stitch length. All I've done is I'm just popping the foot down. Oh, I haven't plugged my foot in, which helps. Had my foot on the plug then. There we go. And then all I'm doing is I am just stitching down one side. And I'm just doing a normal straight stitch all the way down. Now I'm going a little bit too quickly then because this is quite slippy. I should have used my Teflon foot, but it's taking its time. So half a metre of this is £2.99. And you can see it's not taking very long. And the great thing about this bag is not only are you safely going to be able to store your larger size blocks, you're also going to be able to see what's inside it. Because how many times have you put something away in a bag and then you can't find the bag, and then all of a sudden you're hunting for it and you can't find it? I forgot to take the little sticker off. And you can see it's taking absolutely ages to make this. Ha ha ha. Get to the end. Oh, we've had a photo in from the Sewing Street fans page from Danielle. Morning! So if you go on there, you'll be able to see a pencil case of what she's made. Now you can see all I've done is I've just stitched that line on. It's all sealed, all ready. And now all I'm going to do is flip it over. And I'm going to do it again. That's exactly it. And then you've made your own personalised bag ready to go to be able to store all of your blocks in. And this is going to be a really good size for those larger block pieces that you're doing. And because it's so nice and secure and it's clean, it's not going to be affected by rain, dust, water. It's just going to be great. And you just leave it there and you can leave it for as long as you like. It's just such a nice little storage bag. And for £2.99, you've got a massive bag, completely custom. And it looks so cool. So Debbie, thank you so much for inspiring this idea today. It's really wonderful. And there we go. I'm now just back stitching just a few there. And that's it. I've made the bag. So now, when I want to put my pieces of fabric in, if I've got my we'll just pretend that this is a little bit bigger than half a metre. I'm just going to fold this in. All I'm doing, so this is a really big quilt block. All I'm doing, putting that in. And there we go. My block is now nice and safe in there. And I haven't done a fastening on it because personally I'd prefer not to do a fastening on it simply because I just think that there's a chance of creasing your blocks. So all I'm doing here is that if you're doing, you just push this down, maybe use your roll and press to get a nice good seam on that. But there you go. If you're wanting a place to maybe store one of your cutting mats, you've got a really good custom mat, a custom piece there to be able to do. And it's such a good size. It was so easy to make and so useful. So my friend Christine, bless you, get onto Sewing Street, get yourself half a metre of this and your blocks are all going to be nice and kept safe in that. Love that. So that is the beautiful PU that we've got, and it's just a larger version of this wonderful bag that Debbie's made for us before. So I hope you don't mind, Debbie, I've taken your little bag I've made a bigger one. And literally that is just 1/2 meter of fabric and so easy to do. You saw I've made it in front of your eyes. And then when you want to store it, you just put it away. And if you've got the blocks in there, you can just fold it in half and then go and store that. And it's such a good size, we've all got them. You pop it on the top of your cupboard. You just top them on the top of your cupboard, pop it up here. You can keep them anywhere you like. It's such a great block. In fact, I'm going to put it there. But of course, we're wanting to make sure that everything that you use is reusable and it's actually going to be useful. And it's not just buying it for the sake of buying it, but something that's actually practical. And you're going to make something that's going to work and be used in your home. Now, that was just one idea of it. Now, Debbie as well made this wonderful little bag. As we said, that's what we use in the studio back and forth. But she also started making this fabulous little apron with a beautiful bias binding on for children. So if your children are going to be doing watercolors or painting or crafting of any kind, such a great way of doing it. And because it's got the glitter in, it's got that wonderful little upcycling effect to it, which is just so pretty. It's really special. There's so many ways, but please, if you do get any of this fabric and you do make something out of it, please share on Facebook. Like, I've forgotten the lady's name, was it Christine? Who just shared a picture on Sewing Street Fans? Sorry, I can't remember your name. Forgive me, too much information going through my head. Like you did, share your pictures on the Sewing Street Fans page. We love seeing what you make with them. So thank you so much for that. So that is our wonderful PU. Shall I do the Alison Glass? Perfect. Now, talking about things that we can do to make our quilting journey easier, we have got some amazing Creative Grids ruler for you. This is the most staple ruler most people as quilters buy. So this is a 24.5 from this side to this side by 6.5 from there to there inch ruler by Creative Grids. The great thing about this ruler is that it's more than the width of fabric. If you fold the width of fabric in half, it's more than the width of fabric. You've got all the angles you could possibly need in order to cut things. You've got 45-degree there, you've got a 45-degree there, you've got a 60-degree there, which marries up as a 30-degree depending how you move the ruler, and another 45-degree there. You've got all your numbers in white and all of your numbers in black, so fully left-handed and right-handed. You can read the ruler from both sides very, very comfortably, and it is such a great ruler because of the safety aspect for me. Now on this ruler you'll see there, this side of the ruler, which is the top of the ruler, is completely smooth. So when I put that completely smooth side on the mat and I do that, you can see the ruler moves. But when I rotate it like this on the back of the ruler, which is traditionally where you would have your ruler, you can see you've got those non-slip grip dots over there. So if I rotate this the way the ruler should be, you can see that your ruler's not moving anywhere near as much as if it was when you had the slippy side down. So that's a really good way of being able to make sure that when you're cutting and when you're doing anything with your ruler, not only are you going to be safe because your ruler's not moving, but you're also not going to have slippages of your ruler, which will cause you to waste fabric as well. Which one? Wonderful. Now, all of you who have been able to see this Creative Grids ruler that we had on earlier, really sorry, it's under the counter time, sold out. Such a great ruler. Creative Grids have created this wonderful, wonderful dynamic to be able to make these wonderful rulers that are made by quilters, for quilters and for dressmakers, just to be able to make sure that they're giving you that little bit of extra push to it. It's such a great, great brand. This is the 24.5 inch by 6.5 inch ruler. It is a staple for the majority of people who do quilting. It's fabulous. And I highly recommend these. £23.99 for that ruler today. Now, my favourite, I think this might be one of my favourite. Now, we have got the monster of all Creative Grids rulers, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So bear with me while I do that. This is a 20.5 inch square ruler. It's massive. It's just fitting on our screen. You can see if I just move that up, you'll see over here I've got the ruler upside down. So I'm going to do a little bit of a slow rotation. And while I do the rotation, I'm going to show you, because it's left and right-handed, you'll see there that it goes from 1 and 1 all the way down to 20.5. Now, any block you want to square up, any triangle or half square triangle you want to cut, you're never going to, well, anything bigger than 20.5 inches, you are going to struggle. But I've never seen a block bigger than 20.5 inches. This is such a great, great ruler, and it will work for every single project. If you're going down and cutting really, really small, you can still do it. Absolutely fine. It's just it covers you for every single one of the eventualities that you could potentially have for your blocking, for the blocks. Now, the line that I absolutely love the most, if I can pop my hand under here, I'm hoping you'll be able to see that a bit better. There is a single white line going through the middle of this ruler, and if I follow that down, you'll see that there's another single white line going across this ruler. That is the midpoint of the ruler. Now, the reason that is important, and I'm going to put my finger on it, the reason that is important is when you come to square up your blocks, what you do is, if we pretend this is a block that you're going to square up, what you do is you take the fabric, you fold it in half, you put your little finger mark over there, and then when I take it this way, I take the fabric, fold it in half, and I get my little finger mark over there. And when I open the fabric mark up, you'll see I've got this little finger mark cross there. So when I want to square my block up, I've got my little cross. That's all ready to go. That's my little cross there. Now I've got my little cross there in the middle of my ruler. I take that and I mark it where my little cross is on the fabric. And the great thing is, because I've folded it in 4, I know that that line and that line are equal, and I know that line and that line are equal. And then you can see on the edges, I can trim this off, trim that off, and everything's sticking out the side here, and I know that my block is completely centered, ready to be squared up. And it's just such a lovely feature for this ruler. If you're doing a 10.25 inch block, let's say you're wanting to do a much smaller block, you can't then obviously have the midpoint, but you just take your ruler, if we're doing an 8-inch square, for example, you can line your ruler up with the 8-inch square there, an 8-inch there, you cut off that, and then once you've got this loose piece, you rotate it round, and then you cut off the other side. It's such an easy way of doing it. If this was a triangle across the middle, and we can then pretend this is a triangle by folding a line onto it. We're just roughly going to fold a line on it. So what I do there, you can see that middle line. I then take this wonderful long black line across the middle of the ruler. I line that up with that fold line I've just put in. And then I can go and square my triangle up to make sure that my triangle is completely square as well. It's such a good ruler to be able to do. And like all the Creative Grids rulers, it comes with a little QR code over there. So if you forget what to do or want to see other tips, you just zap that QR code with your mobile phone and you'll be taken to the Creative Grids video to show you how best to use the ruler. Love it. Now, you've just seen me take the ruler and hang it in the air surreptitiously like that. We have got the most fantastic ruler racks for you as well. Now, this one, this is the 4-slot one. You'll see there you've got the 4 slots there, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the good thing about this is it does hold a huge amount of rulers. Now, not many of us have got this Creative Grids ruler, and that is really big. We've also got our 6.5 inch ruler by 24. I can store that in there very, very comfortably. I would suggest put your heavier rulers to the front, because otherwise it topples over. Now, this is a 4 rack, and you can see I've got a lot of rulers in there. That's only £10.99. And the good thing is that you can take it and you can put it on the edge of your table, rotate it, and you can see it takes up virtually no room at all, because all it is it's just got this tiny little footprint there to be able to do it. Now, controversially... Oh, really? Oh, okay. Now, the good thing with TalkBack is I get to hear all these wonderful conversations. This is the 5-slot one. Now, you can see that is a lot bigger than the 4-inch one. I'm going to take this out so I can show you the 5 and the 4. Now, this is the 4-inch, the 4-slot. And you can see this is now the 5-slot. The 4-slot is $10.99. The 5-slot is $11.99. Now, personally, I'd pay £1 more. That's just me. You might not want that one that big, but I would pay the £1 more. They are just as good as each other. This one, obviously, you can get more rulers on it. It is such a good ruler holder to be able to put anything that you need on it. Again, you're just slotting the rulers into these wonderful little slots, and you can see there it's very easy to do. And the good thing is as well, being able to clean them. I know this is a silly thing, but once you've had one for a few years, ask me how I know. You pick it up, drop it down, all falls out, you're clean as anything. Just take a vacuum cleaner down it as well otherwise. So it's just such a nice way of being able to do it. Sorry if somebody's front door's just gone weird, but it's just a nice, easy way of being able to show you how it's so easy to keep clean as well. Because I know some people don't think about that, but once you've had them in your studio for 2 or 3 years, dust gathers. So you can see there, these hold really, really beautifully in there. And you can see that that's now almost the full footprint of the ruler stand. And it just holds it ever so comfortably over there. And if you want to rotate it, you can put on the edge of your table, and it's a bit of a barrier for the person sitting next to you. Just saying, just saying. We're in a new world now. So that is our 5-slot ruler holder there. Now, we have got this fabulous Alison Glass fabric. Now, I adore Alison Glass. I love her fabric. We have got a combination of the stitched and the embroidery fabric here today. This is first as a bundle. Oh, these are all on their own. Apparently, we don't have enough to be able to make a bundle, so I'm going to start at the very top, the very beginning, ending 56. And these are beautiful. This is the hydrangea colourway. Sun Prince embroidery hydrangea there, $6.99. Now, what is so amazing about this embroidery design is that every single one of these fabrics that are the embroidery option, you can see all these incredible designs. And I've just realized I've got this upside down. But look at all these incredible different designs that you've got there. You've got all these wonderful little moths. You've got a thistle over there. You've got all these incredible designs on here. Lovely little flowers. I absolutely adore this little ball. And it's a great fabric to be able to play with and fussy cut things out and make things out of it. If you're putting it as a binding as well, it's a really good feature to be able to create that. So that's the hydrangea embroidery fabric there. Next we have number 04. I think this is plum. But look at that. Jam, that's what it is. Jam on embroidery, or embroidery jam. Sounds like a music album, doesn't it? £6.99 there for a ½ metre. This is the Alison Sun Prince embroidery. Again, these work so well. The designs on here are so unusual. And just so interesting. And every time you look, like I hadn't noticed that little heart there before. In this corner over here, we've got this little baby octopus. This started in the 2016 range of Alison Glass fabric, and she's kept that around and popped it in every now and then. It's just a lovely, lovely fabric to be able to go through. And it's like one of those I Spy quilts that you go through and see all these different things each time. Next is number 78. Now this is the poppy embroidery fabric there, and you can just tell that beautiful, beautiful outlining there. Each one of these fabrics is so different with the way that they've done the background colour. Sorry, this is the poppy on stitched, not embroidery. Apologies for that. This is $6.99 now for the ½ metre of that. Again, look at these beautiful echoing designs. It's just so cleverly done. Next one is number 28. So this is strawberry embroidery. Again, $6.99 by the ½ metre for that. And again, you've got that wonderful, wonderful design on there. And as I said previously on the other colourways, it changes so much depending on what colourway you've got it with. All of them are so interesting. It's just interesting to see the way the colours are all merging together, merging differently. You can see where I put the purple and the blue on it, how different they all look when you look at the different colourways. So the strawberry is another beautiful, beautiful way of doing that. So next is an embroidery, and it is number 80. Such a lovely colourway, that. Very, very interesting. And then each time again you look at them, you can see like this moth has come out so differently to the previous colorways there. It's just so interesting the way this fabric works in the different colorways. It's brilliant. The next colorway is number 60. I think it's Penny. Penny stitched. This is the stitched penny. And again, you can see how the fabric changes ever so slightly with each time they do a different colorway on it. I'm not quite sure what my favorite one is. Loving that. And then the design on it is so special with these wonderful echo design lines all the way along. Next colorway is number 17. And this is the turtle stitch, turtle embroidery. Again, you can see all these wonderful different designs and these unique different characteristics of this design by Alison Glass. $6.99 by the half metre there. The next colour is number 67. So this is the stitched grasshopper. Just looks so fresh. And then our next colourway we've got is number 81. That's the Alison Glass Sunprints Embroidery Olive half metre, $6.99. Only 2 more to go. So this one is number 89. And they're so different with the different colours. I think it's extraordinary. This is the stitched chartreuse half a metre for $6.99. And then our last colourway in this collection is number 54. This is the cloud embroidery fabric here, Alison Glass. $6.99 by the half metre for that. And again, don't they look all so different in every single one of the colourways? Lovely, lovely colourway there. So now I have to pick a fabric that I can use. Can I use the one ending 28? Perfect. Perfect. Now I'm very excited about this because I get to show you some of my favourite Creative Grids rulers. We are going to start off with the 8-inch log cabin trim tool. Now many of you, oh, I've left my instructions over here. That's the curvy, there we go. Right, every single one of these will come with a set of instructions. This is not the set of instructions for this one. Don't know where that's gone. But what we'll show you, I'll show you the 12-inch instructions because what's so great about them is they're similar, just different sizes. Each one of the instructions will come with this wonderful pattern plan on how best to do the design. and how to cut everything out as you go along. And this is going to be able to show you, you can make 3 different designs using this log cabin ruler. You can make these 3 different designs. So this is the log cabin trim tool. That's going to be the first block you'll be able to make. And these are just using simple colorways. This is the second design you could do, which is called the half log cabin. And then we've got the quart steps as well. And if you pop them all together, you can see it creates this really interesting design. And you can move things around and you can make more of these and less of these. It's just a great, great tool to be able to do it. So when you're doing this, any log cabin tool that you're going to do, actually, I'm going to start off by using a piece that I've already got underneath here. So when you're doing this, shall I do, which one do you want me to do first? Log cabin or half log cabin? Let's do a half log cabin. So when you are doing this, you're going to cut out your central square. And your central square here, you'll be able to line up. Now, I've just taken a scrap piece of fabric that I had under the counter. You saw me use that in the previous hour. I'm taking that across there. And there we go. And then I know these 2 sides are completely straight because I've just cut them. I'm lining those up with the black lines over there. That line I know is completely square. And there we go. Now the reason I've done this is because every single one of your log cabins that you make should have a pink or a red center in order to be able to signify the home fires will always be burning whenever you come home. So normally if you were getting married, the mother of the bride would give a young bride a log cabin quilt in order to remind her that the home fires are always burning. If anything goes wrong, she can always come home, which I thought was very sweet. Somebody probably will completely ruin my illusion of that being the truth and say that that's not right, but then that's a nice way of being able to remember it. So there I'm just now, all I'm doing is I've cut strips of width of fabric of my grey. So this is the block I'm about to make over here. And all I'm doing now is I'm taking this square and I'm very roughly cutting there and there to be able to show you how best this ruler works. So what I'm doing now is I want to center this block, so I want this to be right way up. So I'm going to hold that there. And the first side I'm going to put this on is over here. So I'm going to line this up and I'm going to put it in the center. So you can see I've got a little bit of an overhang on both sides. And I'm going to put that through the sewing machine. I'm going to plug in my iron before I forget. Oh, Sally Ann has messaged in to say she loves the idea of clear folders. Thank you very much. Well, thank you. It's lovely to hear from you. So now all I'm doing, now I've just noticed my 1/4 inch seam on here is not exactly right. And that is where this trim tool comes in really handy, because it's a very beginner friendly trim tool. Because what you're going to do is, it doesn't matter how your block turns out, whether you've been a little bit generous or a little bit mean on your 1/4 inch seam, it doesn't matter, because this ruler is going to be able to help you fix any one of your problems with this. So once I've got this, all I do now is I line this up and I trim off both sides. Now you don't have to line this up. I just choose to because I like less fabric in my equation. And you can see I'm now lining that up and just squaring that off. Then what I'm doing is on this side, this is the one that so if I look at my previous block, that bit's there. I'm now going to line this up over there. Now because I'm doing this, I'm going to keep a little bit at the top and a little bit at the bottom. Lining that up. And I then line this up to do a 1/4 inch seam all the way down. Brilliant. And again, I just press that, roll this over, Brilliant. So now what I do is I take my ruler again, and the only side I'm squaring up is this bottom bit. The reason I'm squaring that up is because I just want to get rid of any waste of fabric. And by squaring it up, all I'm doing is taking the edge of my ruler, lining it up with this orange fabric, getting it nice and square, and trimming off the edge. So that's the bit that you do before you start using the ruler. Now, the half square centering blocks, you can see this is the half square centering square there. That was where we cut it off the first time. Then, when I move this along one way, we're in our first round. Now, if I line this up here and I line that up there, you'll see that I'm just ever so slightly out on my block above it. That's okay, because what you're going to do now is you pick where you're going to line your ruler up. So you can see these two little lines there. I'm going to line those up with my orange seam over here. So you can see I've got there, now I've got a little bit of wave ridge over here and a little bit of wave ridge over there. Now that's not a problem at all. So I'm choosing to line all of my blocks up at that point over there. And that's where your beginning process, you need to just make that decision where you're going to line everything up to. Right, so now I've lined that up and I've squared that up. That's round one. Now round two, I'm going to use a different fabric. And again, I'm going to be really, really accurate on how I cut these. Okay, and these were just things that were in our scrap bin over there. We've been digging in our scrap bin today. And all I'm doing now is, again, I'm centering that in the middle and I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam down there. You would obviously be a bit more thoughtful about how you're going to put your fabrics together. That is entirely your choice. Perfect. Now with these, I do press all of my seams into the same direction. You'll see in my finished one, I pressed them open. I do find it easier to press them in one direction. But again, pressing open works just as well. So at that point, I know that this is I'm just going to square this off because I'm going to sew my second section on now. And you line that up with the fabric line that you've got there. And you just trim that side off. And then I'm going to sew on that line over there. So the way that you do this is that it doesn't matter how accurate your 1/4 inch seam is, as long as you line that central square up to the same point each time, your block will be perfect. Even if you do have a little bit of a wonky section in the middle, that's the great thing about this block, is the trim tool, is it's very, very forgiving to be able to help you if you have made a mistake. And that's what I love about it, because we all make mistakes. It's quite normal. You just want to make sure that you're going to be able to be forgiven, if you like, halfway through. And this wonderful ruler is a lovely way of being able to do that. Now again, I'm going to take my trim tool. That was our cutting square that we did the first time. And if I move it along with these lovely lines, you can see that was our first round. Now I move it along one more time, and you can see I'm at my second round, and you can see over here my seam is getting bigger and bigger because my seam on here is not right. But because I'm lining this up perfectly, it won't matter because it completely squares it up to whatever the right size is that you need to be. The Creative Grids website video doesn't recommend that you trim these off. Personally, I do. I think it's just neater. You've got less fabric in the equation. So I always just trim off all 4 sides to make sure that I haven't got any extra fabric. And you just keep going around doing this routine all the way through, following your block all the way around. So that was your centering square, that was your round 1, that was your round 2, lined up there. Your round 3 will be there. Then, I can do it here. That was my round 3. Then I've got my round 4, and you're just following these little grid lines all the way along. 5. And then finally, you're going to get to the very edge, line your block up and square it up completely. It is such a great tool, really, really good to use for loads of scrap pieces of fabric, and you can just do whatever you need with it. It's such a lovely, lovely tool. That's the 8-inch Creative Grids log cabin trim ruler, that. Now also we've got the Log Cabin Creative Grids 6-inch and 12-inch ruler, exactly the same technique, and I mean exactly the same technique. You are doing, where are they? It's just a bigger ruler. Oh, so you've got the 12-inch block over here, or if you're doing 6 inches, they're over here. So your 6-inch block would end there, but your 12-inch block would end there. I've made 2 different blocks from this, the first one being the court steps. So you can see that that works out perfectly there. Now the court step's really easy to do. You've got your centering square that you cut out in the first instance over there. Then when you've got round 1, where you sew all these squares on for round 1, you center that up there and you square everything up. Then when you get to round 2, you'll see there's a white line there for round 2. You line that up as well, trim everything off for round 2. And then lastly, when you get to the court steps for round 3, you center that up again and you square everything off. It's just such an easy way of being able to do the court steps. But if you want to do the traditional log cabin, it gives you exactly the same way of doing it. Yep, that's... So here we're going exactly the same way. That's your centering square on the corner there. And again, you move this down as you go. There's your first round where you're going to trim off everything that way. Then you've got your second round. You'll see that white square there where you line everything up there, trim off that edge. And then your third round, which is your centering round for the end, you're doing exactly the same thing. This is the 12-inch and 6-inch ruler. This will come to you, that was the Trim Tool 2. You can see it's got all these wonderful instructions for you on how best to use the ruler. You've still got that wonderful QR code that will direct you to the website, the YouTube pages for all the videos that you need. And it will show you exactly how to do absolutely everything in these wonderful set of instructions for the Log Cabin Trim Tool 2. Now, the great thing about these is now those are 2 rulers that are exactly the same. These are really good, just different sizes, and it shows you exactly how to do that. Now, curvy log cabin is something ever so slightly different. What a curvy log cabin is, there is curvy log cabin. Curvy log cabin. What's happened to our curvy log cabin? There he is. There he is. So the curvy log cabin is very similar but slightly different, because what you're doing with a log cabin, so the log cabin ruler, you will see, sorry, wrong piece. You'll see with the log cabin, you've got all the pieces around here being the same size. But with the curvy log cabin, if I show you this again, this is the log cabin, but with the curvy log cabin, you'll see that your red pieces are thicker than your white pieces. So your white pieces will be much thinner over here, and your darker pieces will be much thicker. Now the great thing about that is you get to create these wonderful illusion blocks, and you can see just by putting that together and that together, you get that wonderful wave on being able to create a quilt that looks like that, or being able to create a circle that looks like a football, if you like. And this ruler works in exactly the same way as the 8-inch and the 12-inch ruler. You will line up your center square there, but it shows you the narrow side is over there, and the wide side, it tells you how wide they need to be. So this is your narrow edge. So when you sew the narrow edge on that side, you rotate it around, you do your thicker edges on this side. Have I got... So that is just such a nice way of doing it, just a slightly different ruler to be able to do that curvy log cabin. It's just such a lovely ruler. I think they're all fabulous little rulers, those. Now the hexagonal trim tool might be my favourite ever Creative Grids ruler. Bum, bum, bum. This comes with, again, you get this wonderful ruler. Oh, got that the wrong way around. And you're going to get this wonderful set of instructions that go with it. Now, the instructions are invaluable in this process. It will show you every single step of the way. It will show you how to cut your pieces, how to cut your centering squares, how to cut them at different sizes, how to put them all together, and go all the way along to be able to make these incredible quilts. and blocks. Now I've started already by making 2 of these. You can see that one I've made with a 2.5 inch square in the middle. Then I've made a 4.5 inch square in the middle. And I've started making this one here. I'm going to give that a little bit of a press, and then I'll carry on making this because I just want people to see how simple it is to use this. Because it gives you such an unusual block, and yes, you will need to do the dreaded Y seam with it when you put them all together, but it's a lot easier than people think it is. So what I've done here is I've sewn my 3 white sections on. I can't remember, I think it's 1.5 by 2.5 inches. Sorry, I can't remember. Yes, 1 3/4 by 2 inches. So the width this way was 2 inches, and that's 1 3/4. So all you're doing now is you're lining your ruler up against the edge of your grey ruler, your grey fabric over there. You line that up perfectly, and if you don't think you're lined up, you've got a stitch line over here, so you just rotate that till you've got that lined up as well, and all you're doing is you're trimming off the excess fabric that you won't need over there. So that section there is there. So all we're going to do now is we're going to put the little black pieces on the edge. So I'm going to put one there, and one there. It's that simple. And to do that, all you're going to do is you're going to put these on. And again, as I've said to you before, my 1/4 inch seam on here is not quite right. This ruler is incredibly forgiving to be able to forgive all of those little errors you might have with your 1/4 inch seam. So you needn't worry about that. With this, you will need to set your seams and press each step of the way around, each time you go round. And the reason being is you're going to be sewing into the corners of each of your blocks. By that I mean you can see over here, when I attach this black bit over here, you're going to be stitching onto the black over there. So you need to make sure you're stitching onto a flat edge. Now we're still doing round 1, but these are the dark colorways of round 1. And the reason I'm telling you that is it's going to come clear when I show you the ruler what that means. So I've now pressed these 2 seams open, or pressed them to one side, and now I'm going to attach that one in the middle over there. That's why it's important to press as you go along. We don't want you to be getting it the wrong way around. Pressing on these Creative Grid rulers I do think is incredibly important. It just makes your life a lot easier. And we all want an easier life. Right, so now I've sewn all 6 sides of my round 1 onto this block. And you'll see here, this is my round 1. That is where that's going to go there. You can see how that fits in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look on my block for round 1. You'll see over there it says round 1. Now a rotating cutting mat comes in really easily here because you don't want to be cutting towards yourself. What you're doing now is you're trying to center your hexagon in the most central area you can. Shall I move it that way? Perfect. So you'll see over here, I'm a little bit lower, there I'm a bit there. So you're just trying to get that in the most central position possible to make sure it works. Now I would not even attempt this block without this ruler because it's so much easier with the ruler. So once I've got that all pressed down, I'm going to then turn this, I'm going to just use the trim tool and cut off the sides. And then I've done these 2 sides, so I rotate this anti-clockwise. And then I put this back into position, but it's now all of a sudden become a lot easier because not only have I cut this line, but I've cut that line. So I line my little black lines up over here against the black fabric. I know, really easy for the television showing, sorry about that. But then I also check that the central block is as central as it can be. And then I cut my next 2 sides. And then once I've done that, rotate it again. Remember, I've now cut 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. So you can see I'm now on round 1 over there. I line up and I can see that that side's cut, that side's cut, that side's cut, that side's cut. Get that all nice and centered. Check my central block is lined up. And then I just trim it off. And there we go. Now, if you wanted to finish the block at that point, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. But that is that section there. Now you're going to go and put the next two sections on here. So you're going to have one on there, one over there, one over there. Oh, these are a bit small. But you can see what I mean. So you can then do the white, then you do so those are these sections there. And you just keep going around the Dresden to be able to, the hexagon to make that work for you. And it's just such an easy block to do with such a fabulous ruler. I absolutely adore it. And it is definitely one of my most favorite rulers that I've had from Creative Grids. Love it. So that is the hexagon trim tool there. And it's such an unusual block. You can do so much with it. You'll notice that I did the demonstration on Creative Grids a couple of weeks ago, having just done a class, and one of the ladies actually shared a couple of pictures on how she created these fabulous blocks from this ruler. So it's a lovely ruler for you to be able to play with as well. Now, our last ruler in this hour is going to be our fabulous Dresden ruler. This is the most wonderfully fun ruler to be able to do. Not only are you getting this wonderful Dresden plate, you're also getting this wonderful circle. Don't get rid of these set of instructions. You've got that wonderful QR code again, which will show you how best to use the ruler. Gives you lots of tips on how to do it. You've got everything all written out for you, ready to go to show you how best to use the ruler. So do keep these in mind. Now, when I've made this before, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some that I've made already. I like the idea of doing quarter blocks in the corner of a fabric to be able to make it pop out. So if this was your border, you'd have something just popping out there. And you'll see over here I've got my lovely little Liberty fabric over here. So all you would do is you would cut your fabric out. You've got your fabric cut out there. If you're wanting to make it pointy like that, you take this, you fold it in half, you line your fabric up, do a little press. You then take that and you do a little stitch, 1/4 of an inch all the way down. Boom, boom, boom. I'm just looking for my pointy sticky thing. Can't find it. So there we go. I'm just pressing that open. Pressing that through, and you're getting a nice little point there. Then what I do as well, just to make sure that this presses out nicely, I fold this in half and just mark a little half mark line there. And then what I do is I line my seam to one side and I line this up with that press mark that I had in. It just gives you, oops, I got that the wrong way around. It just gives you something to line up to make sure it's nice and square. And you press that down. So at that point, you've created your fan, and you would then start putting these together. Now, when you put these together, you can see I've got these already started. You need to make sure that that and that, when you put them on top of each other, line up perfectly to go all the way down. Now, over here, you can see that is perfect over there, but over here, they're not lined up. This bit doesn't matter because you're going to put a circle over here, but this bit needs to be absolutely pristine because if it's not lined up over here, it's going to be incredibly obvious. Whereas all of these here are not lined up completely, but you've got a nice big circle that's going to cover your little blob of errors there if you have any. Then all you're going to do is you're going to stitch down here 1/4 of an inch seam. And you press that again. You can press these open to the side, whatever works best for you. And by doing that, you've now created another 1/4 over here to be able to have a little 1/4 for your ruler there. Now, if you wanted to use the ruler another way, I don't have very much time to carry on showing you the whole tricks and trades of this. If you wanted to, you just put that ruler in half, the blade in half, you press it, you take this wonderful the circle over here, and because you press that in half, you've got a central line. You take the central line of your circle, take the central line of your circle there, you take your rotary cutter, and you go around the corner like that, and you've created this wonderful circle fan like that. So when you want to put these together, exactly the same, you line the tops up there. How long have I got? Oh, there we go. All right, I'm not going to have time to do all of that. So I was thinking, oh, we've got a minute and a half left. I'm not going to have time to do that. So again, you would line these up and press them all the way along. So it gives you a nice curvy effect. And cutting fabric out for this is so easy. You just literally take your width of fabrics like that. You line up your ruler. You cut out as many wedges as you like. And you can see we've had tilde, we've had our batiks. But you can do whatever fabric you like. What I love doing personally is taking a colorway like this, taking 10 pieces of my really lovely expensive fabric that I adore, and then adding on some additional colors to be able to make my fabric last that little bit longer. So that is our Dresden Creative Grids Dresden Creative Grids ruler. Fabulous little tool there, really great fun to use. So make sure you check that out. So what have we got on tomorrow? I know, Christmas! I'm so looking forward to this. The first thing we've got on in the morning is we've got Christmas recap with Living in Loveliness. That's with our lovely Kerry. Looking forward to that. Then we have Christ is Born wall hanging by Delphine Brooks at 9 o'clock. So with Scrap Bags with Living in Loveliness at 10 a.m. Then we've got Delphine's Stag Head wall hanging and cushions. They were so popular the last time. I'm so pleased we managed to bring those back. Then we've got the Liberty Festive Fabrics at 12 o'clock. And last but not least, at 12:30 on the 12th Fabrics. Now, I've seen them. Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited. So I cannot thank you all enough for your time today. It's been really great. Make sure you enter Block of the Week by posting all of your makes in on... So make sure you got the Christmas treat as well. Nice big competition. Thank you all so much for your time today. Look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Stay safe. See you soon. Bye-bye.